You're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
You got a face for radio.
Got a radio face. Waiting for live chat up.
See if you can hear
Episode 7.
Episode 7, that's us.
Okay.
Just make sure we can hear each other, or I can hear you guys. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm happy to have Bulldog back because the coffee is fantastic and the experience is always wonderful. But they have to open before 7 a.m.
You know, that'll never happen.
Isn't it? It's strange.
It is strange. I go in there.
Hold on, make sure she can hear us.
And she acts like she's never seen me before.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, good morning. Hey.
If you were her cousin, she'd act like she'd never seen you
Hey.
before. Well, maybe. Hey,
So sorry to be the first one.
hit that.
Be the first
Let's
one
see if we
here.
can hear it at the bottom.
Are we streaming?
We are live, but I want to make sure we can hear us.
Let's make sure she can see everybody.
Let's see if, ladies and gentlemen, is the volume up on your phone? Yeah. Can we hear you too?
Hello.
There you go.
And you? The boys are
There
back
you go.
in town. All right.
All right.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to the return of American Bulldog.
Yes.
Coffee.
Right.
Thank God.
I mean, I
They're
have
not
no
a
problems.
sponsor yet.
No, I have no problems giving them a small audio spot right now. But well, hold on, now it's distracting.
Yeah. A little bit, that's funny.
Because the coffee is great, but I guess we have to petition them to open up a little bit earlier.
No, it was all right. I'm here. It started at 7:30, right?
Yeah,
I feel
no,
like it's
we're
not
all
at
good.
7 a.m.
No.
We used to meet at the Bulldog at 7 a.m.
7:30.
7:30.
Was it 7:30?
Yeah.
I thought it started getting earlier.
It started at 8. I thought
Early.
it started at
Oh, is that
8.
what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess 7:30 it is.
Yeah. But she was so happy to see me.
Oh, that little.
I was like, hey, so
she's
sorry.
not happy to see anybody.
So hey, so great. Sorry, I'm here at 7. Well, we open at 7. So you might as well be here at 7. All right. Can I get 3 coffees?
That's a very, very good response.
Yeah,
If you
right.
think about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
sir.
could you possibly think like that person? What's her name? Do you know her? And, you know what? Let's not say her name.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
starts with a D.
It starts with a D.
Jeez.
Like, I mean,
That's fine.
that's her personality. It's not
Oh,
like
that's
she's
her
trying to make a
person-
joke. She's not trying to,
She's
No.
been with them for years.
right?
She's probably
She's
the only
been
one
with
that
them
will
for
open
years.
up.
That's right. She's the most reliable person for them,
Oh, God.
but not necessarily to the customers.
right.
Although reliable to the customers, just
Yeah,
not
she's great.
Not Miss Personality.
not Miss Personality.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
for
let's
sure.
see. Let's bring this down. See, for some reason, why is that not moving? Oh, I got the wrong camera.
Did you test this already?
One. Yeah, but why are you not lit, dude?
I'm always lit, bro.
See, this is why we need the backlight.
Hold on.
Try bringing that one down. That guy right there. Dude.
Is that a little better?
It's this. I'm dark over here.
Yeah, well, there's not enough.
No.
There's no sun. Yeah, I mean, I opened it up just to try it in.
It's this side.
Which one are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean,
look down at that computer. Don't look up.
doesn't matter. He's still pretty dark. Again, if the backlight would work deep.
It's over here. This one.
Here, hold on. Look, watch how nice he is
That's
over here.
fine.
Look at there you go. See, that's backlight. Hold on.
Oh yeah. Look at me. I'm
Hold on. Let
all-
me see if I backlight you. We'll wash you out. Ready? Is that too washed out? Look at how washed out. Yeah, it's too washed out. But at least you look better there.
Don't get cranky in your old
Well, I-
age. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Giannopoulos' 54th. I missed it.
Which camera am I looking at?
Hold on. I gotta just see what's gonna happen here. Yeah. But see that. Look what happened to camera 2. Deep. You got to get your butt in here and fix this up, man. Because look at camera 2 now, man. Now it's pointed at our crotches because it controls both of them at the same time. All good. This is gonna be our
good.
camera.
This is our camera.
Let's see. Right
But
there.
look, Chris is not what he's not dark on that one.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he's dark. It's
Over
okay.
here,
Listen.
I'm not dark. Look.
Because he's Sicilian.
Spring Valley in the house. There we
See,
go.
That's right when I shipped over here. Whatever.
No.
At least I got a microphone. I'm probably not coming back.
This is it. Huh?
That's
You may not be invited.
This is my last people. This is my last cast.
Could you
No.
imagine? He
That
leaves
that
us,
that
and then
that
at
can't be.
podcast 8, this thing takes what we go viral.
Viral.
Somebody says something. Well, it's obviously going to either be Steve or I because you'll be gone.
Somebody or my mom.
Yeah. She'll call in. Somebody says something, and then boom. Did you guys hear this? I'm 3 guys.
So let's. So you had a good time at the UAC thing?
What
You
makes
were-
you say that?
You were everywhere.
I'm a fly on shit.
Yeah, you were everywhere.
That's,
Getting
You
soaking up
are a
everyone's.
social butterfly.
Yeah.
I like that. I like people.
Yeah, man.
Do you not like
I
people?
love people.
Yeah,
I do.
Guess who does not like people?
I do. I had a great time.
With who? Nick?
Had a great time.
Nick and their sleeping baby. What's the baby's name?
I had a wonderful time, and everywhere I was, I had a great time. Yeah, it was really good.
Sure.
It was hot. Oh my god,
It was warm.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I
It's like
I had
100
to
plus.
speak on Saturday. I had to leave early. Left at 6 a.m. on Saturday. I missed all. It was Saturday's festivity. I wanted to see the Kevin Harrington. Was the guy good? Was
Very
the guy-
good.
He did a good job.
I thought his story was incredible because I look at some of these guys and I think perhaps maybe they're pretty lucky or whatever it is. They just No, this guy worked it. You were there for that
He
one,
was
right?
legit.
Yeah.
I mean, he came up with this whole idea. Like,
I
it's
say
a big-
no.
Chris wasn't impressed.
you weren't impressed. So
well,
I mean,
do you know how much we paid him to be there?
no, I have no
Well,
idea. Do you?
Forget that.
You know how much we paid him to be
there?
yes. Forget that for
50?
a second. But what
More?
that taints your.
Well, there's a value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's always a value. Was it more than 50? It was more than
No,
50.
no.
No.
Anyway, so I mean,
No, it's
I get it.
25.
all right. So the fact is, I get it. Obviously, we paying these people. Did we pay Dell too?
No.
No, Dell needed
He
our
re-
help.
He reached out
Yeah,
to us.
But let's talk
He
about
reached
Kevin,
out
right?
to us.
Long story short, right? This guy, when cable first started, I was early 80s, 80, 81 or something like that. When cable first started, we finally got 28 channels from like
You're
instead of two-
fanboying. That's all.
You think I'm fanboying?
Yeah.
It was the fact that I
Talk
like
about
that
the
it
content.
it wasn't lucky. It wasn't lucky. Just throw that anywhere, Steve. It's not cheap. It's not expensive.
All right.
Jesus, man.
Deep.
Deep.
I'm telling you, it's just dementia. It's 54 now. Things are going down.
I know, man.
He's slower. He's definitely slower.
Then you
I hope you're working on your
inconsequential birthday.
your zone too.
You're gonna
What's
need
going on?
it, yeah.
Anyway, so the fact that he wasn't lucky, the fact that he created it, he actually started it from scratch, right?
What
So
did he start?
so we had 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Right? You grew up, that's what you had. You had the dials on the TV, right? So then cable comes out, early 80s. I think for some reason he said 81. And he gave you 28 channels.
I remember WHT.
There you go.
You remember WHT?
What channel was that?
You're too young.
I'm not too young. I
WHT
was there when
it
cable
was a
started.
Movie channel. It was like HBO.
What channel was it?
I have no idea. It was cable.
Telling me I'm too
It was,
young. Fuck you.
It was cable.
Got it. All right. So he was saying 28 channels, right? He's like, great. He's excited. So he's going through the channels one night and he's gone home. He goes to channel 28. It's the rainbow bars. So what the hell is this, right?
Yeah.
So he literally calls up the cable company tomorrow. Says the following day, he says, I only have 27 channels. The 28 channel had the bars on it. It was there. They're like, yeah, we only have 16 hours of programming on channel 28.
Right.
Right. Boom. Right. So a spark in his head. Doesn't know what he's going to do with it. Sometime later, I think he said he was at the Philadelphia home show or something like that. He was a sales guy, right?
Yeah.
So he's at the home show, 1,000 booths there, but there's nobody in any other booth. And there's 300 people in front of this one booth. And this one booth, he goes over there. He sees a guy cutting a work boot. He's cutting a can. He's cutting a tomato. He's cutting all this kind of stuff. It's the Ginsu guy,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So he
Ginsu.
starts talking to the Ginsu guy. He says, listen, you think you could do this on TV? And the guy's like, I'll sell anywhere. I don't care. Of course I'll do it on TV. So Harrington goes back, calls up the cable company again. He goes, I want to know how much it would cost to have, say, 4 hours of programming on channel 28. And I want you to film, a 30-minute spot? A 30-minute spot, film it, edit it, do everything like that. How much would it cost? Right? So he got a number. You know what the number was?
$5,000.
Do you remember what the number was?
$100 or something.
$800.
There you go.
$800. And so the infomercial began.
There you go.
And that was it. But that was all him, dude. He thought of number one, wow, I wouldn't have ever thought that you could buy programming on
No.
TV. I didn't think I'm a guy that
Right.
could just buy programming. And then,
You
of course,
still
he goes
can.
to the
You
Ginsu
can buy
guy.
anything you want.
You can buy anything you want. So lesson learned, podcast over. Next. And you don't think that was worth $25,000. Get out of here. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, no, I didn't say that.
All right.
I didn't say that.
I mean, that's what I took out of it. What did I get out of the our Shark Tank? I don't know. I didn't get anything.
Well, Ours
Oh.
was like just a couple of people that just got up there and just
Oh, I'm not talking about the
Pitch
content
and-
of that. I'm just
yeah.
talking about his contribution to that was not,
Right,
Right.
right.
It's not like he came in and be
Well,
like,
we
yeah,
don't know
okay,
that
I'll
yet.
invest in your product.
We don't know that yet because there's conversations going on.
Yeah, no, but I mean, Kevin Harrington, what was his contribution to that?
I don't know,
Other
I
than
wasn't
he was
there.
a shark and he
It
was
was
on our UAC. Oh, Jesus. I think it's this guy here. What do we, what's going on?
What the?
I got a limp.
You got a limp.
Got a
limp
limp
microphone.
mic.
Tighter or looser?
You got to put your mouth on it.
Oh, this
tighter or Did it tighten up or
yeah,
no?
it's tightened up.
There you go.
God, we just changed our programming, man. That's it.
We call Maria in here.
Does your mom have anything to say?
Mom, no, she just can hear us.
She can hear. Okay, yeah, she's confirmed. Yes, I see that over there. So
She's offended.
anyway, so that's what I got out of Harrington. And you didn't. You come on, tell me why you didn't like it.
No, I didn't. I didn't
The
unlike.
cost to
I
value.
didn't unlike it. I just, you know,
Unlike it.
I didn't unlike it. It's just that's not his first time, right? And we already heard his story.
You have.
Yeah.
I
Oh, he's been to UAC
never even-
before?
No.
No, but I've known his story because we had the one other guy in who was the guy who did the infomercial for us in Hackensack,
I mean Hoboken.
Hoboken.
Well, that was the HSN guy. the
That
home
guy
shopping.
was
He
good.
Bob Sarcosta was amazing.
Yeah,
He,
that was. I mean, I don't know what we gave him, but he was.
you know,
going
we gave him. We gave him
high fives.
No. I got him.
lap
there.
dance.
I got him there. I got him there because I was he trained me for 4 hours
Yeah.
for Home Shopping Network.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. So that guy's story. You want to hear? You want to hear a freaking
That's-
great story?
All I ever want to hear
So,
are good stories. That's all I
This
want to hear.
guy's down in Tampa in 1979 or whatever, and he's a radio guy, and they were selling spots on the radio, you know, to local businesses so you know, business wasn't good. It was the late 70s, and they had this appliance store, and they didn't want to pay their bill, you know, for their 13 spots or whatever they anyway. So he goes to the appliance store, and he's like, well, how can we help each other? You know, he goes, well, I got this, you know, this avocado green, you know, toaster. Or whatever.
Yeah.
and they're not moving. You go, all right, give it to me. And he brings it back to the radio station, and he goes, so he fills his trunk up with the toasters, and he goes back to the radio station, and he's like, I got an avocado green toaster here. And he just does a little sales pitch. And if you want it, come to the parking lot at lunchtime and pick them up. They're $10 each. Whatever the story was. I don't remember the exact story. And people just showed up, and he opened his trunk, and he's
Selling him out of his trunk.
selling them out of his trunk, and he got the appliance store to sign again or whatever. But that sparked the idea to create the Home Shopping Network.
Yeah.
And
He
just
was
a
good.
That doesn't even sound like the Home Shopping Network.
what,
That
it
sounds like the
wasn't a
shopping
toaster.
network.
It
Like
wasn't a
instead of going
toaster.
to a store, you went to guy's back of the guy's car. It's the same deal. Like it wasn't.
right, but that sparked the idea because now
Yeah.
you got cable. Cable had all these channels available, all these, so that was super cheap to get on the cable network. And next thing you know, they did it on camera, and they were just selling stuff.
And at that point, they were shipping it to people, though, right? Isn't that the whole idea of, or is it
Oh,
you're
yeah,
on
yeah.
your butt shopping?
It's
You don't
like
have to go to the
QVC.
store shop. What is that?
QVC Home Shopping Network.
Spider.
Can I kill it or no?
No, spiders are good.
Where'd it go?
He's inside the chamber there.
Nice.
Well,
It's his
I don't know.
house.
Okay.
Yeah, let him rock.
He's in a prison of his own making.
All right. So
Um,
yeah, and then he went on to, and then he trained us into features and benefits.
Yeah.
Remember that whole
Yeah.
thing? And
Yeah.
like when you sell a product, you got to sell the features and then the benefits of it. And
You
the-
sell
So he got
benefits.
into the technical
list the-
details.
and then he had
of the
us
success.
had
to
us
sell,
train
how to
and
sell.
coach on it. Like he put us to work. He made us sell.
Well,
he-
see how everything is relative?
He made
Because
it
now
sell
that you told
products.
me that story, then like Kevin didn't tell us anything about what to do. He just
told us his
what
story.
his story was, right?
He
Which is a
said,
great story.
he said,
was.
you know, you got a light bulb.
$5,000.
If you're going to sell a light bulb, you can sit there and talk about how many watts and lumens and the technical stuff behind the light bulb. He goes, all right, this is a light bulb. And when you're holding your grandson and you want a soft light behind you because you don't want to wait, you know, you don't want to hurt his eyes, but you still want to look at his beautiful face. Like he would make it about the benefits. He would make it about the emotion,
Yeah.
you know, and he was brilliant. The guy he's sold.
That's a
billions of
salesman
dollars
now,
in-
right?
Yes.
Pure sales.
Pure salesman.
Pure sales.
Yeah. It was good.
Super impressive. Bob Sircosta. He's still on TV. He's an old guy. He's still on
Is he?
TV selling like omega-3
Is he?
fish oil. Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
fun.
Late night.
My next door neighbor produces those infomercials.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he probably knows all these guys.
Jordan
Yeah.
Belfort was doing that stuff back then too. Jordan Belfort
Before Wolf of Wall Street, yeah.
No. After.
Oh,
that
after he
whole
got money,
debacle,
yeah.
Before he got arrested, he started to take off by having courses called straight line sales or whatever, and he would sell on infomercials. And
He would
do
sell
well.
sales courses.
Yeah, yeah,
It's funny.
yeah.
Mhm.
He would sell sales courses, right?
That's like a shipping ships on shipping ships.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
You ever see that Facebook meme over there? All right, so now you know what? I'm glad I heard that story afterwards because at least I was excited in Boca, but
No, Boca.
but now it sucked.
No, Boca was great.
Boca was great.
No, wait.
It was great to hang with some people I never got to know. Davila.
Yeah.
Love that guy. A lot of fun. Great guy. All that. Like there's things you meet people you wouldn't expect this guy to have a wine cellar
That was
God.
insane.
Did
Yeah.
you see the pictures of it?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
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 We
it's
went out to
awesome.
dinner with him. He talked about wine the whole time. Yeah, it was he was
It
smart.
was so uncomfortable.
No, it was good. It was
it was
enjoying
fun.
I was enjoying the
He was talking about wine like
education. Like,
Education.
they were drinking bottles and he was talking about the years in each one. And I mean
He got me to drink 4 bottles of wine that first night. I don't drink wine. I haven't drank wine. I
features
don't.
and benefits. He was talking about the story behind each one and how it was made, and talked about 2020 wines and 2019. Like he was,
Yeah, the difference in vintages and
Oh,
what was
yeah.
going on in Napa, what was going on in Italy.
the
what-
ashes
yeah.
from the fires, and
that's a little much.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was impressive though. I mean, this for someone to be like, I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know,
he
there's
was
so
he
I
just
give
loved it.
so little fucks.
Yeah, and he was just so in love with it. It was great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's impressive to see people who are.
It was
passionate
in
about
that
something,
movie.
you know?
It's like I wish I liked anything as much as he liked that one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like
He
I
was
like
so-
what was it the one with like
Just so
this is
excited.
40 where he goes, I wish I liked anything as much as that kid likes bubbles.
He was.
Like,
He was like, I don't know. He's like, it just. He was. At one point, I think he said like, man, thanks for so much for saying that, man. Like, because it was actually interesting. I was like, this is really interesting, and he was just so excited about it. You know.
Yeah.
He was in
The best and worst part was the fact that he tells us there's a blind guy
Oh, right.
you drew a rhinoceros on the
He
thing.
just wrecked
I had a call about on that.
He
I'm
wrecked
like,
him right up. I
this
just mind my
rhinoceros.
business.
I'm like, dude, there's no way that he never saw anything, never saw a rhinoceros, and then drew that. Like, there's no braille
There's a
rhinoceros.
on the bottle of wine,
Yeah.
and he
drawn
said,
by-
Calling you out,
Drew-
Davila. I'm
drew-
calling you out.
drew it by a blind man. Pete's like, no.
Nope.
I'm like, yeah, it could be. He's like, no, you mean he never saw? He was
I interrogated
probably
him.
not blind.
Oh, I asked him,
and then
was
he
he
went blind,
Right.
right? He was like, no, he's blind from birth. He's like, no, he didn't do that. Nope. So then they looked it up, and he was like, yeah, no, he wasn't blind.
But there was something. that he-
Somebody was blind. I think his sister was
He didn't have
blind.
his glasses.
Right? He didn't have his glasses. He didn't have
It was-
his sister was blind.
Listen, if it was like a real messed up rhinoceros or something, like it would have still been amazing. But this was a perfect rhinoceros.
He never saw a rhinoceros before, and he drew it off of descriptions.
Somebody
written
described it,
descriptions
yeah.
of rhinoceroses.
Oh yeah, look who
Rhinoceri.
Rhinoceros.
look who remembered everything right now.
Oh,
Look at
yeah.
that.
That's what it was.
So, yep. So I hung with Davila. That was the first time. The funny thing is, him and Ben. That's my accountability group, right?
Yeah.
So
By the
we're
way,
sitting at the.
and I spoke to Ben the other day. I love Ben.
Yeah, I had a great time with Ben. So
By the way, we had a great conversation about what we were talking about by the pool, which is price.
Strippers.
for
what
for the functional medicine, whenever we're talking about.
for your service.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is for your service. Price for your service.
Yeah. So we were sitting down right in the beginning when I came, and you were sitting down with Maria and Dave, and they came by. I've never seen them in person before. Both John and Ben. I've never seen them in person, right?
Oh.
So now we're going on a year. I've been in the
That's
account.
so
I've never
funny.
seen them in person before. And John was dark,
Yeah, he's
right? and Ben was small.
right. Ben,
And they came up to me. They were like, Pete. So I guess I look like me
Yeah,
on the accountability goes. But I'm like,
Very
it took me about
New
maybe
York
like
Jewish.
an
Well,
uncomfortable 3.5 seconds to be like, who the hell are these guys?
You're like,
and I'm like-
oh, look at him.
I'm like, oh my, I'm like, John, Ben? I'm like, oh shit.
Oh,
So
shit.
it was, so it took me a little of like a triple take. Or maybe
John was really tan though.
He was very tan, and
Yeah.
we had
he's South Carolina.
He's a Myrtle Beach.
He's a Myrtle Beach guy, but
But
like
he was
it's
extra
September.
tan though.
I
Like,
have been on the
Like
calls
spray
with him.
tan, like spray tan.
No,
No,
I don't
no,
know
he
what
was
it
tan,
was.
tan.
He was just like
John,
Italian.
Call in and let us know why you were so dark, because everybody was commenting. Because
Not
I
that
did
there's
the
anything
accountability
wrong with
call
that.
on Friday, the Friday before.
Right.
So that was what, Thursday we got there?
Right.
Yeah.
And he
So it was
wasn't
6 days. It was 6 days. Where were you for 6 days?
Maybe he just got sexy.
Hey,
Sat out. He's like, I'm going to UAC.
Go to Boca, going to
Oh,
Del
gotta
Boca
get a-
Vista.
Like, yeah. So
I did a thing with Ben. I did a whole evaluation. This whole AK neuro thing.
He did it to me too.
Well, that's what
It was
prompted me.
like 20, 30 minutes.
Yep.
He fixed a whole bunch of shit.
Nice.
From my childhood.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Removes
yeah,
that childhood
I
trauma.
survived the drowning.
People have exactly right. I didn't survive a drowning. He identified that something happened between the time I was 5 and 10 years old.
Oh, come on. But everybody knows childhood trauma starts between 7 and 8 years old. And just looking at you, I know. We don't have to.
I believe my trauma started well before that, but I will just say I don't remember.
90%.
Could you picture a single picture of right now if you could look back into your life between 5 and 10?
I don't even know. What
There's
that
no,
is.
like,
I know my house because I
have
grew up in it.
Great memories.
You can remember a point in time right now between the time you were 5 and 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, like I remember, like
I actually have detailed files
Dude,
in my brain of
I've deleted files.
I don't remember. I don't even know. I remember things from before I was 5. I definitely like my bar mitzvah. I remember a picture of myself, what I looked like at my bar mitzvah. So that's
before
13.
you were 5.
Yeah, I remember things before I was 5.
And
I remember being in the crib and what I was playing with. I remember my carpet. I remember my wallpaper.
My brother remembers the moment he became conscious. He says he was in the crib and he's like, I'm Pete. I'm Pete Giannopoulos. And
That's so fun. That's so cool. No, I don't remember
That I
much
don't
about. I remember things and memories of doing things, but not like those
picture
are
of
memories,
yourself.
not
Yeah.
visualizations. Like I can remember certain things, but I remember my house and my room and stuff because I was there for my whole life.
Of course, but you don't remember between 5 and 10. That was between 0 and 20.
How about this? If you said to me, this is I don't know. Everyone says this is crazy, but if you said to me, I will give you $20 million if you could name one teacher you had all the way through high school, the name of one of your teachers,
I know them all.
I could not name one.
yeah,
You're kidding me.
I
Not
can't-
one.
I can't forget.
Mrs. Gollop was my kindergarten teacher. Mrs. Doyle was my first grade teacher. Mrs. Weissblatt was my second grade teacher.
But
Mrs.
why,
Carlin
though?
was my third grade teacher. Mrs.
I
Bodner
could
was my
name
fourth
one.
grade
Actually,
teacher.
I could name
McKay
one.
was my
because he
fifth. Sixth was my teacher. Shall I keep on going?
I could name one because he got in trouble in school, and we always remember it. But other
The teacher got in trouble
yeah,
at school?
he got like arrested or something.
Where Jesus?
But
You grew up in
other than that,
Alabama.
I couldn't name a single teacher. I can't even visualize the face of a teacher all the way through high school. 12 years.
You don't think that's weird?
That's what I said.
Are you having a problem recalling?
No.
Or is it weird that I remember every
No,
single
no,
second of it?
I remember them all.
Yeah.
I don't
Good
remember
girl.
kindergarten. I remember
None, zero. I got
everyone
zero.
else.
I remember getting in trouble. Oh, how old are you in kindergarten? Maybe that's between 5 and 9. I got in trouble
remember-
from picking my nose and picking.
I remember getting.
I swear, I remember.
Well,
Mrs. Gollop yelling at me.
I got
Finger straight
I
up in
got
there.
in trouble in first grade from Mrs. Witt because I was eating paste. Me and
Yeah,
my friend
well, that
Al were
explains
eating paste.
explains your bald ass head.
head.
I must have ate something. I don't know what I ate.
I can remember again things I got suspended at school and stuff like that. I can remember all those events, but I can't remember a principal, a teacher. I can remember all the places I was and
Yeah.
and which
You remember the class?
I remember the
like
classes.
the auditorium,
I remember where
gym.
I remember where my English class was, but I can't remember any human being. Not one. I would lose every cent.
You gotta do work on that, man.
I don't think so.
No, you don't
think
care.
I-
You know what it is? We've had this conversation. Nothing in the past for you. Everything is like now, future.
I
Like
don't
you
know.
don't care.
You live in the now.
You're living in
I
the
don't
now.
know.
I guess that's a really great thing.
I feel bad. And then even in chiropractic school, I can remember one or two teachers just because they're partly famous. But other than that, I don't know.
What about the conversation we had in
No.
Boca regarding, going from 0 to 100 million? And I was expecting, kind of more tactics, more, but it was more about mindset. I was thinking about you the whole time. Now, that whole idea of what it is, what you are going to be exists already. It already happened. It was done for you. You just have to be brave and strong.
Fucking mother piping in. Do you remember that you didn't go to your graduation? Yes, I did not go to my high school graduation.
Well, how come she's texting? Can she get on this little podcast thing and engage on our?
Text him.
We wouldn't be able to engage back.
Yeah, you can chat. You can chat. This is not true.
Because you had no friends, right?
Use the chat, Mom. Yeah. No, actually, I did.
Was he doing drugs?
Yes to all that. I did go to my high school graduation. I didn't go to my high school graduation. I sat out in the parking lot and hung out with my friends because I didn't feel it was necessary to.
Right.
You knew back then.
I hear my name being called and like I'm not into the bullshit. And that was a bunch of bullshit. I'm not gonna gown up for fuck that. I graduated.
Yeah.
Good enough. I don't need film. I'm not that guy.
Check the box.
Not that guy. I didn't want to go to my. The only reason why I went to my chiropractic graduation is because my mom wanted to go and finally see one of her kids do something with her life because the other one's a jackass. Fucking loser.
But it's just crazy. That's you, like I had to walk the paved path, and you were just not.
But there's the ceremony of going on the stage and having your hood turned or whatever that is, right?
Yeah, it's turned into over and significance, and I just probably smoked a joint.
That was high school graduation.
That's right there.
Well, chiropractic graduation, we got our.
Might have heard my name. We all giggled. Chris DiCarlo. Nope. Fuck it. No, it's just not my thing. Like I'm not the big I'm just not that guy. Like
you don't need the glory. You don't need need the glory for yourself. You don't need for other people to see your glory.
Like when they were like Dill Big Trees looking for people to make a commercial, I'm like, you can't get me running away from that fast enough. Yeah. Like it's just not my.
You want a commercial? Watch my back run.
Right.
There you go.
Commercial this and I really would like and I support them in a million different ways, but I'm just not that guy.
Right.
I'm very.
By the way, he was a lot of fun at the bar.
He was great. He's a
great stories.
Man, great everything.
Everything.
Yeah, top to bottom.
The energy was fantastic.
His passion, everything was.
I truly wish that I had seen the RFK Jr. promo that he did for the election beforehand. I was only judging him based on what you see in the media, and he's completely.
You don't really know him.
I don't know RFK Jr. Did you know RFK Jr.?
Yeah.
That
I've consumed like 30 hours of him on podcasts for the last year.
Yeah,
that point where I didn't want to I got to the point where I love his voice. Like,
well, see, I think that held him back with his voice.
I was listening to his book, and I got the audio book, and I'm like, damn, it's not his voice.
I think so. Here's what I think, because number one, obviously we get the media, but like I think his voice held him back. I do, because I think it was an interesting type of a voice, and I don't know it was advantageous for him.
I never thought for a minute that guy's career in any way was stunted by his voice.
Who, RFK?
I think no. I'm talking about this run. I think just because he had alternative views, and I thought he was.
You were told
out there. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Told they were alternative.
Yeah,
you're right. I succumbed to that BS.
Steve, give him what you meant to say was.
Bullshit. But man, I really do believe that he cares more than anybody else that's out there right now. And he really does care. I do not believe Donald cares, and I don't believe Kamala cares. I don't even believe Kamala has any control over what she cares about or not. No. That's not my true belief. But like he really comes off as caring.
He is.
He actually does care. And for him to leave his family, to leave his party, to leave all that. And I thought that he would, I would call him a sellout, and not anymore. He did that. That took more balls than anything in the history of the world.
And he's been a part of UAC. He was even a part of UAC prior to this whole political run.
He was on a call with us the night before he announced.
Yeah, he told us first.
With Patrick and with what's his name from the Utah Jazz, point guard who got
the coach.
No. Dream Team.
Malone, it was
for the Utah Jazz.
Malone, who used to dish to Malone.
Yes,
John Stockton.
John Stockton. So Stockton, who went to Gonzaga.
Yes.
During the pandemic, Gonzaga basically revoked his lifetime season tickets to the university he graduated from because he didn't get he was against the COVID vaccine. And Stockton was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Live by principle. And that's RFK and The guy is the real deal pedigree of his uncle and his father. The entire rest of the clan has accomplished nothing in their life. These are people living off a name, just like parasites to the Democratic Party. They were so willing to throw their family member under the bus just so they can secure their position, to do nothing for the rest of their lives,
But live off the name.
Democratic Party. And it's disgusting.
And he pointed out all the things that his uncle, who is probably the most famous, would have been like, there's no way he would have done this before I even did it. He was a better man than I was, and he would have left his own party before I did it. I'm like, when he put those facts out, I'm like, that I got the chills. I listened to that, by the way. I'm glad I videoed that little clip, because that was powerful.
Listen to the clip on him talking about the environment on interview he did. I think it was with Tucker Carlson, and he just does like a
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
Gotta say hi to Dr. Steve and Dr. Chris.
She said everybody.
Well, that's Shannon.
hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Good,
Mm.
good.
You're live on podcast right now, yeah. So
Come on. Real quick, say hi.
everybody, hello to Shannon.
Oh yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome now. So there you go.
Yeah, so we do.
So yeah. So now I feel bad. Now I wish he was still independently running.
I'm sorry.
No, better off not.
He does a
I
3-minute
agree.
thing on the environment, and you listen to it, and it was just a conversation he was having with the interviewer. But you would think it was scripted. It was so perfectly worded about what the environment really means to us and how we should look at it and quantify it and all this stuff. And I had my children listen to that. It's like there's no better view from a spiritual standpoint on who we are, who we should be as Americans.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's the best.
He owns it. He absolutely owns
That's
it. He
like-
gets it. This whole media has to stop. It has to stop. People have to get.
No. This is the new media. This is it.
We gotta adapt.
What
We gotta
we're
pivot.
doing.
Yeah, we have to adapt. You're right. We have to
Yeah.
adapt. But because it's so obvious, everybody knows it now. Nobody even hides it anymore. They don't even care. They don't care to hide it. So that's fine. We have to adapt. We have to pivot.
That's right.
And
So I do agree. Like back to what you said about Pampa, and that his growth was all in, because I've anytime I have my biggest growth to my practices has nothing to do with
the marketing
Kept
that you
saying,
do, or anything
what
like
was
that,
that?
it's your growth.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. What was
Rock-
that? He kept saying Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
That's
Be strong.
that's the
The
his-
Hebrew.
the Hebrew version of
Oh yeah. Oh God, I was
Yeah.
about to say, what are you talking about? Rock and sock and bro guys. You're right.
I can't remember what it was, but he
Be
kept
strong.
saying
Be
it.
courageous.
Be strong. Be
Yeah,
courageous.
Yeah.
and then when you find your true identity, find your true self.
Right.
And that's once you
What a great message.
work with the team on finding
Yeah.
their true selves and get your core values locked in, and then you just have that growth.
I wanted to talk to.
Yeah,
I
talk about
wanted
my
to
7
hear,
whys.
Yeah.
when we got there, I wanted to hear tactics. I wanted to hear all the little detail. And
Can we please
What
have
was
these
that?
conversations before we go there now? Because I came completely unprepared. You guys obviously are seasoned veterans over here, and I was
Oh.
just listening. I'm a
Come
surface
on.
guy. Come
Come
on,
on.
you're 54.
Hey.
You're an old guy. You're an old
I
guy.
had a request.
Oldest.
You
You're the oldest. He is.
You know what's fucked
So,
up?
like, I'm sitting
I'm
here
one of
just
the
enjoying the
oldest in the
information I was
organization.
in, but like you guys were, I didn't even know we were looking for deeper
Good morning.
dives and stuff like that.
What's up,
Ladies
man?
and gentlemen, Dr. Greg Ledbetter. Come on in, take a
Ledbetter.
look. Come on,
Say hello.
There we go.
Say hello to Taylor.
say hi to Taylor on TV. No, you got to get your face in over there. Hey,
Nice.
ladies and gentlemen,
all your fans.
all in one.
Congratulations on your
It's
Google
Chris's
review.
mom. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you don't think I come? But the information is shared, my friend. The information is shared.
Yeah. Well,
That's
do,
right.
one do better, and congratulations.
There
There you go.
By the way, if you always live by one, you're gonna be okay.
Take your time. There you go, baby. Good to see you.
I like that advice. Number one, do better. That's it. And if you,
Yeah, I mean, if you get, like I said, that's why Dan's got that growth spiritually locked in.
what's everybody looking at?
There's a bird out there.
What's everybody looking at out here? So,
Kind of
guys,
bird?
what are you looking at there?
It's a bird out there. I never saw that kind.
Nobody will
Little
know
bubble.
until we get
A
a
little
camera
bubble goes
outside
by.
over here. So, or a mirror, a little mirror over there.
Yes.
So- All right, so Pampa should have told us a little bit more about technical, or no? You're
No.
happy with Pampa telling us
no,
it was
the
him?
I
opposite.
was expecting like tactics. I was expecting
Got
to
it.
hear more about how he brought his family.
And then when he
in
starts
and-
saying that stuff, I just go,
yeah, no, it was spot
Wallowing.
on.
That's
That's
called
it.
wallowing. You see what he just did? He just wallowed.
Yeah, yeah.
that's where I live. I live in what he's
Basking in it.
finding.
He was
Yeah.
basking.
I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Basking in the
that's
glow.
what I do.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good morning, Kelly D.
Good morning.
So, oh, I already took care of it, girl. Come on. I'm an overachiever. That's what I do.
Oh yeah,
Like,
finally.
Bolt-
I brought
well-
it.
Bulldog.
I had to bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Next
by
week,
the
I'm
way-
going to do it from the Park Ridge
by the
place.
way-
We'll see.
There's not a scratch on that car. Okay,
Stupid.
there's not a scratch on that car.
Keep it in this parking
And I
lot for a
gotta-
minute
I
longer. We'll
gotta
see what
tell you,
happens.
I gotta tell you, I go to the Fishkill Auto Body, in Beacon, New York, Fishkill, New York, and I may have said this one of the other times, but that shop is the cleanest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You should make a
fucking
video
shop.
of it.
You know what? I should have,
Yeah.
and I'm going to.
He's not going to do
But he's got this this Mustang frame. So it's like a 67 Mustang fastback, and it's just the frame, and it's all reinforced and built out. So he's doing a resto mod. So you take an old car like that and you make it brand new. It's gonna have brand new. It'll be a brand new Mustang.
Is it going to have a CD player in it?
It'll have a full.
Yeah, it is. No,
No,
cassette.
like, it needs an 8-track.
Eight-track.
Right,
back
right.
then.
No, that was 8-track. So now it's a
Yeah.
CD player. Makes it brand new. Maybe like a 6-disc set. So
Oh, man, remember that?
yeah.
What's cool is that he's going to have, so the interior of those cars were, even if you got the best one, it was vinyl, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't like leather.
Yeah.
But he's going to have it hand stitched leather. He's going to have, it's going to have everything: air conditioning, suspension, brakes. It's going to be a high performance
Old vehicle.
Yeah. So he's working on that. It was really cool to see that.
What about that Porsche we saw when we did our bike ride?
That was a 79.
That was leather.
That color blue.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
That
It
was pleather too?
No. It was leather on the outside of the seats, and it
Yeah.
was that plaid was the cloth.
Cloth.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
79. That color blue.
You see that Kia that was next to us?
That was a
Kia.
nice Kia.
That
though.
was a nice Kia. Little shout to Kia over
Nice
there. That's
Kia.
freaking beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I probably should put your brother together with. So there's another guy who wants to build one of these podcasts. He owns a Motorcar Manor, Matthew Maizano, Motorcar Manor over in Ramsey, New Jersey, and he stores high-end cars and stuff like that. He does have he sells as well, but he should talk with your brother
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's something that they could do over there. But the guy George that built this room, he's got motorcycles and cars. This guy George, you got to get in here, man. We got to podcast you. I need to know information. I mean, this guy's
Is
amazing.
the guy who jumps out of planes with cameras?
Yes, this is the guy that does that, and then he also builds this, and also dreams it up in 7 minutes, that type of stuff. So
Just took a course on like buying exotic cars and the sweet spot in the market and where everyone it almost reminded me of the misinformation on medicine as the misinformation on leasing cars and how the car industry and the advertisements of everything have tricked us into thinking to lease cars and not purchase cars and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And he went through all the numbers and the mathematics and the sweet spots of buying certain cars and the residual values. It was really pretty incredible.
no bias.
No bias.
It's tough for me to ever think that there's no bias,
He's
right?
he doesn't own.
But what did you learn? Like, what was the?
Well, the residual of a car, obviously you need to know the percent, when you lease a car and then
Yeah.
the buyout.
Mhm.
So you need to know what the buyout is, but what the percent of, they always give you a number, but no one ever thinks of it as what percent of
The value is.
value of the car is.
Mhm.
Right.
And what lease companies have done is they've front loaded. So if a car's 100,000 and the residual buyout is 48,000,
Mhm.
they make you pay. They lease you the 52% of the car
Right.
in the first 3
3
years.
Right.
Right.
But they let you think you're getting the car for 52,000 and it's $100,000 car.
Correct.
Right. So you pay 52 and then they take it back and they just sell it for the 48 and they make all the money of it. So, what happens is, but if you buy higher end cars, the value in the car is in 2 to 5 years
Mhm.
because they hold their value. So
Right,
the initial
right, right.
drop is in the first 2 years. and then after 2 years, it drops a little bit. But by the fourth and fifth year, the actual value starts to swing back up.
Right.
So you can buy a car that's 2 years old and finance it. And
So we're talking like if you're gonna lease a Lamborghini or
You're talking about high-end vehicles,
and
obviously.
anything
like,
over 50,000.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like a Kia or a Hyundai or something, it doesn't really matter.
then you might as well just lease it.
Yeah, but what if it's a Escalade or
Yeah, something higher end. Yeah.
Those are all right. So you're saying that's gonna swing up in value?
It depends on it depends on the vehicle. He gave an example of like a Lamborghini Huracan. He gave an example of like a couple of cars and he was talking about the residual values, but he was saying at the second year the depreciation really stops tremendously. So all the payments you're making are going more towards equity in the car. So when you sell the car in 5 or 6 years,
the leasing company makes
you get all your money back.
This is if you purchase it. Yeah.
Purchase it. So
Right.
But what about the car like an Escalade, right? Where you got to understand, people are not buying this for the value and everything like that.
Right.
They want to have that great looking car. They want to drive it. Now they have a cheaper payment because it's a lease. They get what they want, right? In essence, you're talking about, remember the crack? Give the guy the crack.
Right.
You're giving them the crack. They don't care about residual value.
Right.
You're thinking it.
Well, they don't care because they're losing the money on it because they're paying in their mind they're getting a deal, but in the bank finance department and the cars they're taking advantage of us because we're paying all of the depreciation for them, and then they're getting a car that's still under warranty, that's still low mileage, and then they're selling it used and they're making more money on you because you paid down the residual.
But do you think that a majority of the people who are getting, let's call it the Escalade, right? Do you think they care about that? They don't care about that. They've got this, instead of having to pay $1,500 a month, they were able to pay $699 a month and they're driving an Escalade for 3 years.
A 2-year-old car,
yes,
they could pay the same as they're paying on the lease
and have it, and it's theirs.
And have it, or the residual, the depreciation wouldn't be as harsh, and they would have equity in the car in 4 or 5 years.
So you're better off buying a 3-year-old car.
If it's a 3-year-old, if it's non-exotic, 2-year-old, if it's exotic.
Got it.
Right.
And what's the mileage?
Mileage is normal mileage, normal wear.
10 to 12 a year or something like that. Yeah.
If you're looking for a regular car, if you buy the car at 3 years, it's already depreciated 50%. And then the rest of it tapers off so slowly that you're actually going to build equity in your car.
It makes a lot of sense.
Right. So they trick us into paying all their depreciation for them.
Right. For the convenience, not only for the convenience, to not think about it.
And always to have a brand new car that's not going to hopefully break down.
Really, it's what is the monthly payment. That's it.
That's what like he said. It's because people want to say they have a brand new car.
Yeah.
That's what we've been trained to believe. That's means success. It means, look at me, I'm leasing through my business. I have a brand new car.
So the luxury leasing company that I'm friends with here in town, Jim.
Yeah,
he's been in that business for a long time,
right?
And he's a really fascinating guy. They're not in, so that's their business, but they don't. Their money, I believe, the business structure is based on taking the finance deal and selling it on the open market, packaging them and selling them on the open market.
just the finance deal, not the actual vehicle. They care less about the vehicle. They care about the loan.
Correct.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they also own a exotic car dealership that's separate. But I assume some of the vehicles find their way back to the dealership.
Got it.
To sell after. But Jim is a great guy. Jim really knows that business.
He's trying to find me something now.
Yeah.
Something that can get up your driveway.
Yeah, have to get.
He'd be worth once our podcast really starts to take off. Once we have more than Mom.
Once we get Chris,
it would be great to have him on
here. Yeah. I want to get. That's. Well, I mean, I think I might do another podcast just with like a local business owner. Just just want to find out. Forget about it. This is not marketing. I just want to. I'm interested to find out, especially successful ones and stuff like that. So.
Well, when are you going to figure out what you're going to do with your life?
Well, that's our 7 whys, man. I did an amazing exercise with Lauren and Chris.
Oh, you did?
And as much as I don't know if I'm sold, we were at the beach on Thursday morning. When you were, remember I met you at the pool? And then something else happened. Oh, I had to change rooms or I had to check in. That was Friday, I guess, whatever it was.
You never came back. I'm not hanging
out. Well, he stole me and brought me to the beach with Lauren. And we were talking about the 7 whys. You ever hear of the 7 whys? I looked it up. There's no 7 whys. Whys, WHY.
No.
Apostrophe
it's
S. spiritual.
personal development, spiritual thing for people who are wondering what their, passion and drive is. You just basically what you do is you say, why do you want to be, what you're doing now, what your functional medicine,
Mhm.
and then you answer it, and then you answer whatever that is. You answer why to that, and then you do it 7 layers deep. And but usually, statistically, by you hit the 7th why, that is the core value and your purpose in life is and your drive behind everything you're doing. Like people, like for instance, someone will say, "Why do you want to be a functional medicine doctor?" And you'll say, "Because you want to help people."
Mhm.
Why do you want to help people? Because when I was little, so you just dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in it. And once you hit 5, 6, and 7, it gets a little bit tough and a little uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to have some quiet time. But once you hit those, you can actually find your purpose and what's your driving factor. And it's always, and it's pretty great. I do that you do it with your children. I do it with my son. We review it, we'll try to do it every couple of years. We just did it with them now.
How deep did you get?
So I mean, we got stuck at 6. 6 was good. I listen. The whole idea for me right now is like everything has to be honest, even if it's self-deprecating, whatever it is. If everything is ego or status or whatever the hell it is, I don't care. I have no qualms hiding that at this point right now. So, and again, the best time for me to do a 7 Whys is now.
We don't have any time for bullshit. Everywhere you look, there's nothing but bullshit.
Right.
Everywhere. So not having time for bullshit is a great first why, I guess.
Yeah. So we got down to number 6 was, I thought was an important thing. It's significance.
Mhm.
I need to feel significant. Right. And then I wasn't sold on 7 because I didn't think it was as embarrassing as it should be, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed it to be more like I have this ego bullshit, which is what I thought I was driving to. But it was, the signs were kind of everywhere for me. And again, I'm not spiritual like Chris, but I just kind of whatever. So 7 became fulfillment.
You are spiritual.
Everybody's
spiritual.
Fulfillment,
It's just a
yeah.
matter
You gotta
of
remove
your
the layers.
ability to
Right.
recognize
You gotta
that.
remove the layers, and no, Kelly will still love you. If you
That's
change.
right. So significance and fulfillment were 6 and 7.
Right.
And man, it's kind of almost like refreshing. All right, let's start there. And you know what the good thing is? I could do this again in a month and it could change.
Right.
Right. And it's fine. It will, you said?
No.
It won't. All right. It might. And we're allowed to, right? So
Yeah,
it
of
doesn't
course.
matter. So but at least like now, because I do this in the business, right? When we have tough decisions to make and we're like that, well, does it provide the wow experience? Is it going to get us our patients results? Like it's so easy to make those decisions that sometimes, it's not the classy decision, it's not this decision, but if it hits our core values, does it provide the wow experience? And like when I have to buy a piece of furniture, I'm like, furniture doesn't make a difference. Well, does it make a difference? Does it create a wow experience in our business? Yeah, it absolutely does. Easy decision to make. Boom, buy the piece of furniture,
Right.
So
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's good for the kids to do. It's fun. Not yours, are too young.
I would start. I don't know. Well, how do you guys do it
So
with the vibration stuff?
George is down in Florida State last night. Tallahassee got whacked with
Yeah.
and I'm like, because George lives in the fucking frat house. This
Crappy,
It's a-
decrepit.
it's a converted mansion,
Oh, so
basically a giant urinal.
Right.
Love it. But they,
it's a trough.
they built like the residences like behind the old building. That's where he is. It's very nice and clean and blah blah blah. And there's 300 frat boys. 60 of them live in that building. George is doing his junior year there. And I'm like, George, there's a storm coming, right? He goes, yeah, I know. Everybody left. There's 3 of us. We're watching the house. We sandbagged. I'm like, why didn't you leave?
No, I love that.
Like, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
You think you're gonna like save something?
Right.
It's
I
a
love it.
giant storm. He's like, no, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. We got sandbags, and we're gonna, we're all prepared. We got food. We got battery banks for our cell phones in case we need them for flashlights.
I love it.
So
Did he get gas in the car?
No, he parked the car at school in the parking garage, so the car is safe.
Okay. Did he get gas in the car?
I don't know.
One tank. Always have to have one
Yeah,
tank.
you
We
gotta
talk
have a
about
full
that.
tank.
Yeah.
When you're
And on
doing
top of that,
it,
you could use your car to
You
charge
got to
your
be able
phone
to
if you
get at
needed
least
to, too.
300 miles.
Yeah.
A full tank will get you in most cars 300 miles.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Anyway, he's down there having a blast with his 2 frat buddies
frat buddies.
and of course, like every fucking hurricane, it's never as bad as
Right. Always.
the commercials.
Well, it got up to category 4. I had somebody reporting like it's a lot of rain, like a lot of rain.
All right.
So,
All right.
but all right,
Is
rain
is
we can deal
worth,
with.
24 hours of news coverage nonstop.
No.
I haven't seen
worse
any
than-
news. I bet you haven't seen
No,
any.
I didn't even know this was
even
happening.
I knew there was a hurricane happening. I did not see any news on it whatsoever. But I
Oh
also
my
don't
God.
watch
Last
the news.
night at 10:30, I found out there was a hurricane because Steph called. She was like, "Oh, just getting ready for the storm."
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right."
Me
too.
Not even
Same. I'm like, what storm? She's like,
Yeah.
"No, we're having." I'm like, "Lauren, should we call our kid because he lives with by
He's,
Steph?"
yeah, but he's in East.
He's right there, and I'm
this
like,
came up the Gulf Coast over
The
there.
school
So
will take care of it. So
Yeah,
George
that's why I didn't-
George sent out a text. I didn't know what the hell was going on like 2-3 days
Yeah.
ago, and George sent out a
Yeah.
text. I'm like, get an umbrella,
Right.
And he's like, haha. And next thing you know, I turned on TV yesterday. I'm like, holy shit! They said Tallahassee in recorded history has never been hit by a storm like this ever. I'm like, all right, well, should I start worrying about my son?
Right. Did he? Yeah.
well, hold on. FSU is not actually on the water.
It's
Most
not
of
even
you,
close
so,
to
so you're pretty safe with regards to storm surge. That's not the other thing. You got to worry
Trees.
about
They
trees
got-
coming down.
they
Yeah, they
got
got
a
those big
lot of
old
big,
trees with
big,
the
beautiful
Spanish moss.
trees.
They're so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it down in FSU because they have that Spanish. I love those trees with the Spanish moss. Those
Yeah.
old, very cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm into the landscape
is
idea
very
stuff
cool.
like that.
Yeah, like that stuff.
Yeah. So what's your 7 whys, man? I got to find out.
Oh man, I got to go through the exercise. I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it live on TV.
Yeah, you might
Live.
cry.
I might. Will
Yeah.
I cry?
Right. No.
I like to cry. I want
Yeah,
to cry.
cry. You'll
You're comfortable with
cry.
my you like where I'm at?
I mean, I like the fact that we got down to like everything you do is to make other people feel really happy but really just to make you feel happy at the same time.
Happiness was on there as well and fun.
But like he likes to have parties, he likes to have
Yeah.
people over, he likes to like the office and make everyone feel excited because when they're excited or having a
He's
good
also
time,
a connector.
he likes to feel, he makes him feel good.
Yeah.
When he feels good that they're feeling good, he
Right.
feels like significant.
Significant, yeah,
Right.
and then I'm
And
fulfilled.
It's
I
funny,
like
'cause
that.
If you think about it, in the restaurant business, he'd be like the maitre d'. You're more the
The chef,
the cook in the
he
back.
was the chef, yeah. And
He's
you?
not even the chef. He's the guy
Okay.
taking in the
I'm doing it.
salads off the loading dock.
From the bear?
Right.
You're the big guy in the bear. You're
Right,
just calling
no.
shit out.
Don't
That's
bother
it.
me, don't bother
Yeah,
me.
yeah. And you? Who are you?
Me, I'm the cashier.
Gotcha, yeah, the money. Right.
I'm taking the money.
Taking the
There's no
money.
cashiers anymore. Which, by the way, I
Cashier.
love cashier. Jesus, you are fucking old, man. What are you
Fucking old.
doing? You're decrepit. Are you
That was-
okay? Do you want a cane? I was gonna get you. I was gonna get you
like
Depends.
11 years old. I was
gonna
the
get it.
cashier. at my father's
Obviously.
restaurant.
I was a cashier
By the
at
way,
7-Eleven.
I think that's
Ding.
the greatest
Like,
thing in the
hit
history of things is the fact that nowadays you just come, with the bills and everything. It's the credit card, the 20% done.
Dude,
Everything is right there.
My
Boop, boop,
father
done.
never
Take your
took
card.
credit. My
I love
father didn't take credit cards, and people would line up. So we would do breakfast and lunch, and I would stand at the cash register and like that.
Push it
open
hard. You got to
doors
push it
and-
real hard.
Yeah, and you have to hit it. Yeah, you have to punch it, and
Mhm.
then the thing drawer opens, and you go through the whole thing at lunchtime. You bring in whatever, a few $1,000s back in the 1970s. And I didn't understand this. I was like 10, 11 years old. My father, lunch was over. He would take the tape out of the thing,
Mhm.
roll it up, throw it in the garbage, put it back, put a new one back in, and take every other check and re-ring it.
Yeah, my dog.
You can't. Listen, IRS,
you just shouted them out right now, dude. You're gonna get the IRS
My
is coming
dad-
after you guys.
Yeah.
So you have no idea.
statute of limitations.
Right.
That's
passed-
fraud, dude.
He passed away 21 years ago.
There you go.
Right.
Good luck finding that,
Yeah.
guys.
You can have them.
Yeah,
He
right.
would re-ring every check, and I didn't understand. And then he would put the cash into a bag, and who knows where the bag went.
Yeah, I like that.
Up his nose. Where did it
And-
go?
No,
no,
no.
I
he would-
still do that.
But he also used to come home every once in a while. He'd come home with like 7 televisions, like a television for every room in the house,
Jeez.
because there were gangsters coming in downtown, and they're like, hey,
Yeah.
we got a bunch of TVs.
Dirt
Come home
cheap.
with TVs. He would come home with lobsters. He'd come home with a whole bunch of shit.
So, yeah,
That's
so
the
awesome.
gangster
I
story
love
right
that
there.
shit, yeah.
That is such the gangster story.
The amount of effort it took to re-ring every other one.
It's Giannopolisio.
Oh no, it
Giannopolisio.
probably took him 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
Probably
just
took
the,
him 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
But he's reporting 50% of the
I
income,
love
and he
it.
didn't take any credit cards, so
Yeah.
that was it. It was cash.
Yeah.
Even the credit cards were like,
Yeah,
it was like
remember that
electronic.
thing?
It
Yeah,
wasn't,
yeah.
you know, it's,
That's fun. I like that.
these are the stories I need to hear in the morning.
Yeah.
Because now as I go about my day, I can try to figure out how I can be the most shady person on the planet.
That's it.
So-
You're fine. You got it.
as shady as I possibly could think I could possibly be.
There's always no.
Oh my God, there's Steve's dad.
Dude, I don't even know half the shit my dad was doing.
See, I'm paved path, man. My
Yeah.
parents went to work, got paid, came home. That's what they did.
Yeah.
I remember when I finally came home with the VCR for the first time. When did VCRs first came out?
We
Yeah.
had,
So about 18 years later, my father came home with the first VCR.
we had the VCR that was 2 pieces because you could take one, put it
Oh,
on your shoulder, and attach a camera. to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No, my uncle had that. That was
that's
high
big
tech.
time.
Though. I mean, that was hi-fi over there. So
That's
Again,
so
it
cool.
all fell off a truck.
yeah,
all
man.
of it. And all of our best electronics came from the restaurant.
That is good stuff. And I got so I was at when we were at UAC, I got put in a group of people, misfits, what I call the misfit. They were, all of the people who don't have accountability groups, right? So I always get put in that group because I don't have one. They're like, why are we all together? And I'm like, you ever see that cartoon about Santa and the misfit toys? That's us, guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, it means we don't have a group.
Did you lead them?
I did.
I would hope so.
It went, yeah, we did it. We went through it all, and it's so funny. And then the one young kid, Max, right,
Yeah.
very nice kid. He's we're all kind of going around. And then Krista came over to me later, and she's like, "Yeah, got a request that there's like 5 guys who want to have an accountability group with you." I was pleasantly just like, "Oh, thank you so much." No, and then but Max goes to Lauren. "Oh, you're with Chris?" And she's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, I thought he was a real fucking idiot." And then she goes, "Oh, thanks." And then he goes, "Oh, but then he started talking, and he's really fucking smart."
No,
But-
it started with you being funny at dinner the night
Right.
before.
Oh,
Remember?
right,
So
yeah,
that
whatever it was.
I thought he was an idiot.
Thought it
Then
was
he's
an
really
idiot.
funny. And then I sat down at the table and I'm like, holy shit, that guy is
It
really
was
smart.
so funny. She's like, "Why do you got to come off as an idiot?" I'm like, "I don't."
She said that to you?
Yeah. She's like, "Great, I'm with the idiot."
That's great.
So the thing that I think that's great about accountability groups is that, let's say you go through all the stuff that you go through, the meditation time, the 7 whys, and it's all occurring between your ears. What I love about the accountability group is that if you're gonna say something out loud, it creates an energy because you said it out loud.
Yeah.
And other people heard it, and other people, you shared the vision. So now it starts taking on life.
Right.
And people can hold you accountable to the shit that comes out of your mouth. How many times do you sit there and say, "I'm gonna do this," and you never do?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if you say it, then the next week you're like, "All right, what did you do this week to go in that direction?"
There's
Is that how your group works? Because that's not how my group works.
no, you're just wasting time.
If
Like
you're just having conversations, it's one thing, but you got to direct it to your whys, right? So it's okay to have the conversations and just bullshit, as long as it's in the general direction of what
My
you're trying
whys.
to do in
That's-
life. Because what the hell are you getting up in the morning to?
Well, that's the thing. Is
meet
I've
with
had
these guys.
2 or 3 groups, and one turned into like coaching calls for me. Like I was handling.
You were the
everyone.
coach.
Yeah, and then the other one turned into like some people would show up and some people didn't. The other one would turned into like 2 guys who couldn't make decisions without asking their wives or partners, and like so we're doing all this accountability stuff.
Is he talking about me?
Is
Is he fucking talking about me right in front of my face?
No.
Son of a bitch.
But
Yeah, he's right here.
to
I was in
to what
Boca.
you're saying, to what you're saying, there's also when that happens, I believe there's an inherent dishonesty as well. You're not honest with yourself,
Right.
or you don't want to be honest with the people in your group, and that's the problem. Because then you get on each week and
It's just bullshit.
You're lying.
Yeah.
Because you're not telling the truth. You're not saying. So you have to be open, and then you got to be comfortable with people you don't know to be open with, and that's a difficult thing to do.
For who? My problem.
That's why you're a
man.
success.
Because
That's why
my
you're a
problem is
success.
I'm
You
open with
opened up
absolutely.
immediately.
Somebody has to get that off the screen. It's killing me.
What is it?
The HP Wolf security on the bottom right over there. Can you see it over here?
Yeah, how do I do it?
Maybe I'm blocking it, so all right, it won't bother me quite as much. I got it. I'm blocking
I
it.
don't see it. I want me to
This
take it
one.
off. How do I do it?
It's not a touch.
I
No,
gotta
no, we're not there. Don't worry about it. So
Get-
I had to, no, you have to just go on the right side, the computer on the right, just scroll exit out. No, up to the right.
No.
That one. It's not touchscreen either. Where are you going? You going to the bathroom? Jesus Christ, what happened here? I had the complete opposite, not realizing it because not everybody was wearing their tags. I sat at a table. I guess it was 6 of us. It was me and 5 guests.
Oh.
Right. And then at the end of the thing, they're like, okay, all the guests, I'm going to call them out. Blah, blah, blah. And it was my whole table got up. And I go to my, holy shit, Minor. I'm like, dude, if none of these guys sign up, I'm like, that's obviously just my fault right there, you son of a bitch. But I think I was like 4 for 4. The other guy was,
You know
was
what? What's great about that group is that you got to be right for the group. Like, we don't want people joining if they're not right for the group. You know what I mean? If they're not going to contribute, if they're not going to be take it seriously, it's a place for relationships.
I get
You know what
that.
I mean, it's
I've only been in this group for a year. How am I supposed to represent the UAC? I don't even know. I didn't even know about the stuff when we come. I wasn't the right person for this. Okay. I've got energy and I'm entertaining, I guess, and people like me, but I don't think that's what UAC is for. And I need to learn more about UAC. I don't think right now, and I love my guys. I love John. I love Nate. I love all those guys. And I think also I've voiced that, like, maybe I should try another accountability group because that was the only one I was in. And I love it. I love hearing the stories. And I have been perfectly honest with them. They knew all about listen, for 6 months before the whole work divorce occurred, everything was fine. And then
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
As a professional,
What kind of professional?
What is your time worth? What is your
right.
So let's just say, this is work time.
Yeah.
Just put an economic value to it. Just put a dollar value. Are you a $100 an hour guy?
Am I $1,000? Right.
$1,000. All right. So let's just say $1,000 an hour is a good professional.
Sure.
Good professional fee. If you're an attorney, if you're a doctor, if you're doing $1,000 an hour, and you're gonna get together with 5 people for an hour, you should show up, and that should be worth $5,000. That hour should be worth $5,000. Now, there are consultants who do way more than $1,000 an hour because they've leveraged their ability to do that. And some people are like, you know what, my time is worth $20,000 an hour. So now you got 4 people worth $20,000 an hour. That hour should be worth $80,000. And if you go into it thinking that way, then you're going to come out of it. Well, first of all, you're going to go into it differently. You're going to deliver value. You're going to deliver value. So Chris shows up here. So let's just say this is our group. This is a live accountability group, right? Let's just say that's the case. Chris is delivering the goods. Chris, when Chris talks about the 7 whys, when he talks about manifestation, when he talks about all that stuff, people pay for that shit. People pay a lot of money.
Sure.
To have coaching.
He paid a lot of money to get to where he's at right now. Sure.
Exactly. So that's if the accountability group, look at her.
Everywhere she goes, she just distracts. She's just a distraction. By the way, that is my beautiful wife of 16 years today.
Happy anniversary.
Today.
That's why you're a dick.
Hurricane Ike. Isn't it funny that there's a hurricane in the world? Because Hurricane Ike came up the coast. We should have known then.
Well, it's September, so yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so I'm sorry. Go back. So yeah, so he paid a lot of money. What's our time?
So when you're in an accountability group, you show up wanting to deliver value for the people that are in the group with you, not to take value, to give value. And the more you give, the more you're going to receive. There's just no question about it. But you really should go into it with a value proposition.
What are you hesitating to come in? You've already distracted the whole cast.
Thank you so much.
What about me?
Happy something?
Hey.
Say happy something to Chris.
Hi guys.
Come on in.
And you had
How
your
are
You got to get on
H-bot
Oh, it was
experience.
awesome.
First
No.
what?
H-bot.
Hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah.
We did
Oh.
the hard chambers.
Nice.
And we did
The real deal.
Should I get Chris out?
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait.
Should I
No.
get Chris out?
Hmm?
Fuck you guys.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
Yeah.
So how was
Now I
it?
got
Good?
Chris in there
Were
too.
you
We
not
got a
get
couple of
scared
shots.
in there?
This is where I look like
No.
Portnoy.
No.
I thought I was gonna get scared.
Yeah, I
I
get
didn't.
scared.
You can actually fit 2 people in there, which is really
Oh,
cool.
Can you bring a phone in there or no? They don't recommend you putting any
don't
Why
electronic.
don't you just
recommend-
detach and just relax and get inside?
So
I-
our chambers,
Fuck you.
even though they're mono chambers, well, you know,
Well, no,
on
I
off
will.
hours.
No, I will not go in there with you.
Oh, all right.
I
no.
see what she
that
was
that was
doing.
my first question.
I don't
No,
know.
you will not go in there with her.
What she said there was room for 2.
So 2 reasons why. One,
One.
it's very good for children with autism. It's
I
very
love it.
good for children who've had traumatic brain
She's
injury.
making a commercial
and
right now.
Depending on the age,
promoting?
you don't want to go in there yourself.
All
So
right. She's
a parent
self-promoting?
can go in and get the benefit of it as well.
That's very cool.
So it is really cool. It's really
Oops.
exciting. I went in there for the first time ever in the hard chamber. I've been in a soft chamber, and
So fun. I want to try it.
I am
Yeah.
You want me to go in there with you?
blown away.
I would actually like
Blown
that.
away.
Okay.
Blown away.
Can
So
we cuddle?
today I'll be heading back up there today.
Good morning, Dr.
Morning.
James.
And Dr.
got the
Jason
COO?
Saunders
Do
will. We have the CO. We got it Monday.
Jason Saunders going to come up and do our
Jason.
training.
He's doing. Yeah, he's the one who set up all of our stuff.
Awesome.
His partner. I don't know if it's his partner, but he put in all the units, and now he comes out and does all the clinicals today.
Is anybody going to come up and kind of train the staff on the value
Mindset.
what it's used
We did that
for,
yesterday.
and-
So yesterday, all the staff came up. We went over uses, and more importantly, we went over all the emergency procedures, so
Oh,
that
boy.
everyone can
I'm
feel
scared.
very. I feel a million times. I'll be honest. I was like nervous, and now I'm like, okay.
It's like handling a
Yeah.
gun. Once you
Yeah.
learn how to do it.
I don't
Maybe-
like guns.
I don't know if I would compare it to.
I just did. I compared it to a gun.
That's it. That's a little.
That's how scared I am of. That's I want to tell you,
Yeah.
my fear of the both of them are about the same. She's like,
Yeah.
you got to go in there, and I'm like, I'm terrified. Like we did scuba diving, and I mean, I think it's the clearing my ears.
I
That's the
mean,
problem.
speaking of our anniversary on our honeymoon,
She almost killed
16
me.
years ago. You know, I almost was married for about 5 days.
5 days.
That probably was enough.
That was
Yeah, you
Should have got out.
Truly was.
Was it a year ago that you guys went to Iceland for your anniversary?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 year
Excuse me.
ago, I am an earthquake
Oh,
survivor.
the earthquake.
And a volcano
And
survivor.
did you get to hang out with Berger?
We
Yeah.
did.
Oh, yo, I
Burger
this time
saved us.
like
This weekend.
just that one during the session. I don't know. He was playing golf a lot.
Yeah,
I think, so.
I didn't get to talk to him at all. I
Yeah.
just saw him and I didn't get to talk to him at all.
I thanked him
All
for
right, well, you
saving us,
guys
and then I
enjoy
also
the
You're
rest of
going,
your-
you're going out for your anniversary this weekend.
we are.
are.
You guys are gonna be there too, right?
Yeah, we're
gonna
coming.
come
You
and
didn't
crash?
know?
I'll let you know what the hotel, the room number is. We'll be ready to rock.
Bye.
Yeah,
So
we are.
fun. Yeah, accountability groups are great.
Says the guy who hasn't been in an accountability group. So
No, it's just that he needs to find people who resonate as high as he does.
that's truth. And then
Possible.
Bring
It's
the
not
goods.
possible.
Bring the value. Accountability is
maybe you don't have to meet every week.
I'm not.
You're
Yeah,
never
we-
gonna do it.
We meet twice a month. or
Yeah, no, I'm
once every
totally
2
fine
weeks.
with not doing it. I
Yeah.
don't, like.
I'd like to.
That's
As I
what
said, not that I don't get value. I love those guys, but like if there's
So-
value
so
to be had, I'd like to.
All right, here's the value. Let's just say, first of all, you know a lot of people. You know a lot of people, right? So
Okay.
for example, if you were in my accountability group, and because you know a bunch of us have some social media success that we want to leverage, right? So you say, "Oh, I'm best friends with the COO of VaynerMedia."
There you go.
Well, all right, come on. That's what an accountability group does. So you would bring me thousands of dollars of value
There you go.
in that relationship. And as long as the accountability group has staying power and you meet twice a month or 4 times a month for years, it's going to be back and forth. It's going to be back
That
and forth.
that makes sense to me.
When
Yep.
it comes to relationships, it's never about the immediate, what do I
Yeah,
get now?
No, it's
It's
the
always about how much can I give for what period of time, because you're always going to get back far more than that. Always.
So speaking of which, literally the
Yeah.
COO of VaynerMedia is my best friend. Like we've known each other since we were 3 minutes old.
So we need our social media group needs a consultant that we can share our resources to hire, to look at our 4 accounts and say, here's how I can help you from a consultant standpoint, leverage your audience. So that's what we want to do.
Got it. What I'll do is
I
will.
don't want him. I mean, I don't believe I'm not sure that he's the right person. I don't think that he's the right. He's going to know somebody.
My friend
in
Mark,
social
you're talking about.
media
Yeah,
So-
right.
and
Or
again,
Gary, he would
We're not
put you in
looking
touch
for
with
any-
Gary.
We're well.
If I can do
Don't
that.
if you could do that.
But the fact is, you don't have done and like literally the bar mitzvahs, the funerals. They're like Gary's at every one of those. This is like they're
Dude,
they're
I'm
they're
willing-
like this. They're
I'm willing
super
to have
tight.
a bar
So it's
mitzvah
like
to
I'm not
make
gonna.
this happen.
You want to have a bar mitzvah? Let's go. First, it starts getting
I'm
circumcised.
a
Let's
little
start with
older
there.
than-
Yeah,
I'm a little older than 13, and some.
But that, I mean, to me, I
doctor
mean,
took
that's
a knife to me without my permission.
isn't that
Yeah,
a
it took too
win-win?
much.
I don't feel like that's a
It wasn't
parasitic.
a moil.
It took too much.
I would have preferred a moil.
Right.
I mean, in my mind, and again, maybe that's my naivete, but in my mind, that's a win-win-win-win-win because I'm not like, it's one thing if I'm just sucking somebody like a parasite, like, hey, man, you know this guy, hook me up, No, I feel like you guys it's not like I'm bringing my 125 followers here. You're bringing, you guys combined are bringing a couple million followers.
right.
That's valuable to Gary. It's valuable to VaynerMedia. It's valuable to my friend Mark. It's valuable to everybody. So, I'll, that to me, I don't like that. I have no qualms at all doing something like that.
Mhm.
But again, I think I do that often. Maybe I should have some more qualms. Is qualms the right word?
No.
What is quam?
What is a
What
qualm?
is a quam? So I feel like we just got stoned in here. Hey man,
Hey,
what is a
quam?
quam?
What is a
man?
quam?
Hey,
Hey, I
so
don't
it is
know.
Friday. It is my anniversary.
So I left UAC early to go speak at the New York Chiropractic Council annual convention here in Nyack.
Yeah, you guys. It was local. That was easy.
It was local. It wasn't. It was a great crowd. It's such that's my first organization that I joined after school, and
Me too.
They're near and dear to my heart. The event was a fraction of what it used to be pre-pandemic. So we got to rebuild the New York Council because it was a very small event. Again, not so much the quantity of it was. We used to have a big vendor hall. We used to the energy was great. People would come dressed up. It was like a place to be, and it was there would be a big party afterwards. We'd get on a boat and circle around Manhattan or whatever it was. So much fun back in the day, and I think gatherings like that need to come back.
Yeah,
I agree. But I mean,
Professionals.
I don't believe the venue is conducive to that.
Right.
I mean, that's a smaller venue, smaller thing. I've been there,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
was.
really nice and everything like that. But that's not.
it was
like,
in Nyack.
Yeah, it was at Hotel Nyack or whatever they call it now. It
Yeah,
used to be
'cause
the Time
be
Hotel.
it used to be at the Terrytown Marriott. And it was perfect. It
Right.
was,
But that's not even centrally located. You're talking about the entire state of New York, and albeit I'm sure most people are from down in this area,
Mhm.
but people up in Buffalo and Rochester and Syracuse and all that kind of stuff. That's you're going to come
But
down
I-
to the Nyack Hotel.
I delivered the goods.
Yeah, you did.
Delivered the goods. I nailed it. It was a great event. Had a couple of friends show up. The message is, the message is our message. It's a message of health and all, moving away from all the bullshit that people are. I mean, the world is ready for our message. They're getting it from other people. They're getting it from Joe Rogan. They're getting it from podcasters. They're not getting it from our profession.
Right.
We've been saying the same shit. So we went out to dinner the other night. I went to a wake. It was fucking awesome.
Jesus.
Went to a wake.
Two
the other
words
night.
I've never heard put
Went
together.
to a wake.
Come on.
Awesome.
So
This funeral was the greatest funeral ever.
That's
you-
hysterical.
It's like
you get to the point where somebody
Wedding crashers.
somebody dies, you start making phone calls. Hey, you going?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to see everybody from high school. And
It's like wedding crashes. Now it's funeral
such a
crashing.
Shame. Yeah.
yeah, that's when you
But-
see everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's like, right, we're past the point of weddings and christenings and all that stuff.
hate-
Like,
Yeah.
I hate
everybody got
weddings.
married. Everybody had their kids. So now what's left? Death.
And I hate weddings, so. I hate
But you
all-
love death.
Anyway,
I hate all weddings.
so we're out to dinner, and my buddy's wife was saying how she listened to a podcast with Casey Means, who's the medical doctor that's being interviewed on all the podcasts because she, while a Stanford surgeon, came to the realization that the entire medical profession is so full of shit in their approach to, health and chronic disease. And so now what she's saying is like this new revelations
Mhm.
about health. And it's like,
No shit.
all she's doing is saying the same shit we've been saying for, I want to say 100 years, but 50 years
50,
at least.
yeah.
At least. The exact same shit.
Yep.
And because she's a Stanford surgeon, it holds a lot more, and that's fine. The message.
I was just about to say, does it really matter at
No,
this
it doesn't
point
matter who's
how
delivering
it's
the message,
delivered?
but
Because
our profession needs to stop putting their head down and being quiet about it.
yeah,
We need to.
it's more like
Amplify.
embarrassment, I guess. Like again, this is me just being honest on both sides. Number one, I feel like I was embarrassed to promote it because I'm quote unquote just a chiropractor, right? I was going through that. And then I have to go through this whole dichotomy now. Like, okay, so somebody else who has a little bit more clout, Stanford graduate, highfalutin medical doctor, is promoting what we're trying to promote. Well, don't hate on that. Don't be jealous of that. Like that is now.
God, I'm not hating
do I
on
need
it.
the ego? Do I need the significance?
I'm hating
of that?
on us
that
for
we didn't-
being so timid
That's what it is.
all these years
Right.
and not amplifying it more.
Look at the labels we got. Look at we're conspiracy theorists. We're quacks. We're
I
this.
love
We're
all
that.
that.
I love all that.
I love all that.
That gives you fuel.
I
That's
love
right.
it.
Well,
It makes
so
me so happy.
That's right.
I love it.
That you're called a quack.
I
You know,
love
this
every
whole
bit of
with
it.
Del Bigtree and everything like that. Like that concerns me, man. The fact that when we were listening to him, were you there for him or not?
Yeah.
You were there for him. And the research was there. The science is there. The one thing, for me, I need to have science. I really do. In order for me to defend it, there has to be science. For him to have shown us, oh God, the best part that I tell everybody right now with regards to anti-vaccines and everything like that. But the guy said it right there with the COVID vaccine. He goes, when they started promoting, and he said the clips of President Biden and Susan Mano saying, if you get the vaccine, the virus dies. It stops right there. You cannot get it and you cannot transmit it. He goes, I looked at the applications from Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and even the ones in Europe. None of them even studied
They weren't
transmissibility.
wrong. They weren't wrong. They knew they were lying.
They
That's
knew
like,
they were
if
lying.
they were wrong, you could forgive them.
Well,
right?
okay,
They
Biden
knew they were lying.
Susan Mano could have been fed that, right?
Yeah.
She's being told that, but
Right.
Biden has to see that. That's his job. Is that her name, Mano?
Oh, Rachel.
Rachel Mano. I'm sorry, I call her Susan.
What you
I-
meant to say was
What I
tell us, Steve. Tell us.
is it Rachel Mano, whatever it is, the talking head over there, and it kills me because he then showed the papers right there.
Right.
The papers are indisputable because it was their application.
Yeah.
And there is zero about transmissibility.
Right.
And of course, he got destroyed. He got his everything. And here we are knowing for a fact now that this vaccine never stopped the virus, never stopped it from being transmissible at all. We know that as a fact.
And people
And
are
we're,
gonna get
we're
it.
still a quack. He's still a quack.
By the way,
Just say,
you
I'm
have to
sorry.
now
You were
ask-
wrong about
you
that.
now have to ask yourself, is this how everything was done going back 50, 60 years?
Always.
I absolutely believe that.
I
This
do
is
too.
this is not a new playbook.
No.
They were going by the same. So everything you believe about, well, you got to question everything now because everyone said, well, the polio vaccine. All right, well, really?
No. You ever
You
do the
know?
research on the
Yeah.
polio vaccine? I've
No,
done
I
it
know.
5,000 times.
I know.
It did nothing to do with eradicate polio.
But it did eradicate polio,
But
right?
Did
So
it?
what else?
No,
did
it didn't.
It
Did
didn't. No, we still.
It was no,
Did it?
it didn't.
You're saying it was the natural decline of what polio was going to do
Well,
because
it's-
of
that's-
same thing with
that's-
COVID, right?
that-
We finally got
that's-
to a point where everybody
that's
had it, and
clear.
so
That's clear. The disease transmission was up here, and then it went down here, and then when it's just above the baseline, the vaccine was introduced.
and then
all
and
the
eliminated,
credit
yeah,
for that decline had to do with
the
So
vaccine.
at the same
it had to
time,
do with sanitation, it
Yeah.
had to do with
Well, that's-
water, it had to do
Yeah.
with
all of the
you know.
decline came at the same exact time that we created sanitation, proper
Right.
water, cleaning of all of our stuff. That's what eradicated polio, not the vaccine.
Got
By the
it.
way, if you ask somebody if you were alive in the 1940s and you were exposed to polio, what would happen to you? Answer that question.
They would get paralyzed.
Okay. So first of all, polio was a gastrointestinal virus that barely caused anything in anyone. For 98% of the population, again, I'm just throwing the number out. I don't know the exact number.
Well, he threw that out pretty confident, like 98%.
All right,
Whatever, yeah, high number.
High number,
very
yeah.
high number. But apparently, 2% is a unacceptably high number. So
Right.
let's just say 98% of the people is just a gastrointestinal virus that just goes away. And then there are people who get sick. And there's a large percentage of those who get sick have complete resolution. And then there's a very tiny percentage of that 2% that will get the neuro manifestation of that.
The anterior horn
The
cells.
number- right. The number was very, very small. And again, not that it didn't need to be addressed or tackled. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we were taught you got exposed to polio, you were fucked. And that's just not
because
true.
they took the percentage of the people who got polio, not the 2% of the population that got this. So depends on how you present it.
Right.
Because if you said 98% of the population is not going to get polio, right? Or you could say 2% of the population got polio, and of that percentage, 80% got neuro, whatever.
Right.
You know, so it sounds way worse if you look
Right.
at it that way versus nobody's really getting it. But if they
did the same thing with COVID, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, you know that for a fact.
They
So-
front load the research and the
Yeah.
science and
You
the
can't
stats.
hide from viruses.
Right.
Like hiding from a virus is a ridiculous concept.
Futile.
But anyway,
Yeah.
this is a debate. You know, I'm not here prepared with all of the research and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
data.
yeah.
So anybody who wants to, you know,
Yeah, oh, my mom.
yeah.
Mom, don't look at the research. Just understand. So principles we're talking about.
Right. If anything,
Bottom line, though, I don't want to be looked at as some kind of quack or some kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
do.
Like, they have
I do.
enough control to be able to do that. Like, what else was Del? Oh, Del was talking about the IgG4 response due to the boosters, right? And again, what I loved is he had the science.
Success and health will only be experienced by a very tiny percent of the population that pursue it. Success, health, and truth. If you're not pursuing those three things actively, you're not going to get it. 99% of the population doesn't deserve health, wealth, or success, whatever, unless they actively pursue it. So when we say, you know, we want the world to hear our message, they'll hear it. But what percentage of those people are going to accept the message? And those are the people who are going to benefit. And it's always going to be a tiny percent of the population. Always.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people are not willing to take responsibility for their health, for their wealth, right? And knowing the truth.
Or they just
Well,
don't think.
Or
They
it's not a
choose
part of
not
their
to.
primary
They
concern,
choose
because a
not
part of
to.
their primary concern, and I'm stealing this from one of those. He was a Russian comedian and a talk show host or whatever it was. He goes, most of the world is ridiculously poor, and they don't care about this. They care about actually getting
Right.
some water to drink or some
Of
food
course.
to eat. And he was talking about the environmental, the climate change and all that kind of stuff. You know,
That's
he goes,
most of the
we're never
world.
going to change this because the guys in India don't give a shit about climate. They care about where they're going to get the next morsel of food from, right? And so they don't care about this type
Why
of
are you
stuff.
picking on the Indians?
It was him actually. It was really brilliant. I don't remember his name, so I apologize if anybody's gonna listen to this in 20 years. I will try to get his name. But I love listening to this and showing it to my friends. And he's a comedian, but he was very, very smart. And it was really cool. And I've seen him on some talk shows and everything like that. And he talks about, like, you're never gonna change climate change because most of the world doesn't care about climate change, right? It's like you have no idea how desperate some people are in this world, or most people are in this world.
Their need to burn dung just to have heat,
Right.
You know, they don't care if they're, you know,
Right. So you're going to ask them
yeah,
about their
carbon.
kids in 30 years, you want to protect their kids in 30 years, or you want to eat today?
Well, that's
They're
why
going to
I
say,
laugh
I'm
at
going to
you.
eat today. He was talking about a button. Like, you could hit a button. Good morning, Dr. Kim. You could hit a button and immediately you can start, solve world hunger or whatever like that. But your kids are now going to be messed up. There's no person on the planet who's going to hit that button. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen.
Right.
So very smart stuff. But I mean,
well,
I know.
If you're an American, you hit the lotto. I don't care what socioeconomic situation you're in, you hit the lotto for the world. And then if you're an American and you're middle class or above, and you're ignoring truth, health, right? That's your choice, because you have access to anything and
Right.
everything,
Right.
information, time, resources. As a matter of fact, if you want to save money, well, be healthy.
Right.
It's simple as that. You want to, destroy your economic ability to produce, just get sick. It's simple, but it's a choice. It's a choice. If you're 50 years old in the United States, you're middle class, you smoke cigarettes, you don't exercise, you know what you're getting.
And it's I just, yeah.
Where can we, like, all right, I can start in my practice, you can start at your practice, and you can start with with the functional medicine. Where can people start, like, promote, like, what do? You go to the schools? What do you do? How do you start?
Start at home. You You got to
Start
educate
at
your
home with
kids,
your
you gotta
kids.
educate your family and your friends. That's really all you can do.
That's all you can do.
That's it. And unfortunately, at the most
Small
crazy
steps, huh?
spot, it's just everything's starts with food.
100%.
Food.
I 100%
Food
agree with that.
is one of the biggest problems. It is.
And that's why. And when you talk about food, is it the food or is it the soil?
Right.
And
That's
it
the
goes
whole
to the
process.
soil,
Yeah.
Right.
It's the whole
And
process.
if it's the soil, what do we
What do?
to damage the soil? Regenerative farming is clearly, the answer.
Is that sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, it's sustainable if you put resources to it, it'll be sustainable. If it's
Yeah.
just a bunch of hippies in upstate New York trying to get a few acres to grow, organic grass, well, no, it's not sustainable.
There's so much land out there.
There's so much land.
This is we
So
don't
much
see
land.
it, but you ever drive across the country, it's nothing but fucking grass everywhere.
It's
boring
so
as shit.
funny you say that because we were having this conversation the other day. Somebody was saying there's limited resources and we're overpopulated. Overpopulated. Just jump on a fucking airplane from New York to LA. It's nothing but land.
Nothing.
It's nothing but empty
Nothing.
land.
So why aren't they taking the migrants to those portions? There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
So let them build stuff.
What are they gonna do?
Let them
Smart.
build stuff. Teach them how to build.
Poor guys.
You feel bad for them, the migrants?
Poor Daniela.
Well, his friend
Yeah.
Edmonds.
Danielle,
I texted her this morning.
she's come up. I can't even tell you, maybe 30 times in the last week.
I
I'm-
texted her this morning.
Yeah.
I checked on her.
Has she
She didn't get back
getting
to
any
me yet.
job?
I'm checking on her now, just seeing how she's doing.
What was her name again?
Daniela.
Daniela.
Yeah, I'm gonna check
So,
on her and see. If
I mean, it's just like, Kay, am I allowed to hire?
No, you are not.
I'm not. What if we send in FICA and Social Security for her? I mean, can we do that? Oh, there she is. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, my brother told me, he's like, don't put your car through a car wash. He goes, all those swirls. He goes, I got rid of them all. I picked up my car. It was better than brand new.
How did he do it?
Better than
He's
brand
not gonna
new.
tell anybody.
No, my
Proprietary.
brother's he's just meticulous about everything related to cars.
I'm going up to Fishkill.
Out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever like
Mm.
really are concerned about,
I mean, it's right by your house. No,
Yeah, about an hour.
that's not right by your.
Well, I mean, it is. If,
Yeah.
You're going that way. You might as well stop by and get a. Does he just do car washes for people who come in, or no?
No,
You got to get your car.
no,
No, he's
you
a body
gotta
shop.
You
Yeah.
gotta crash your car.
I'll
Yeah.
wreck that
He'll
shit
fix
just to
it.
get a
You want? I'll hammer the shit out of that right now. You want me to throw a
I'll
hammer
go
onto that
dance on
thing?
the hood of your shit.
Yeah, right. It already looks
No,
like my
but
kids
let's
have already
get
danced on
Daniela
the hood of my shit.
To start a hand car wash company, and that way I don't have to go through the things to rip my.
I go through.
I don't believe so much it was the brushes and the swirls. It may have more been the fucking bike rack. that you put on.
I drive through the car wash 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah, you
No
got
swirl
Look at
mark.
the swirls.
You have
No
swirls.
swirl.
You just don't even know. You're blind to
I
your
can see
swirls.
the
You're
swirls.
you're blind. You're
Any
swirl
swirl.
blind.
I can see the
cannot.
swirls
Swirl
in
blind.
here.
I
cannot.
absolutely have swirls, and I have
Cannot
nicks
see.
and everything
You
like
guys
that.
got to get through better car wash.
Where are you going to get your car wash?
Go to Rainbow Car Wash on Franklin Turnpike.
Advertising.
Un-
By the way, we have now promoted like 6 companies.
I get unlimited car washes for $15 a month.
There's no way $15 a month. But you have to pay up front for the
Recurring
year.
revenue, that company's going to sell.
That's
that
what I got
company's
out of
gonna
it.
Sell to private equity.
That's
because of
right.
Recurring revenue.
You have an annual subscription to it, or you can do it month at a time.
It's monthly.
Really?
$15.
$15? They're not
Unlimited.
making any money. They're not getting bought out by
Oh, they
private
make-
equity. There's no way.
Because the people who pay $15 are taking their car like 3 times a year. They're like, oh, it's unlimited, and they're not using it.
I go 3 times a week.
Yeah, well,
Well,
because you
Tuesday,
everything
Friday,
on you, there's
Tuesday, Friday,
100,
Saturday.
It's like $10 a month on Planet Fitness. You get 10,000 people in the community
Yeah.
to join at $10 a month, and 800 of them show up.
right.
Yeah.
That's their model.
But that's what I got out of this weekend is to try to get to some kind of recurring revenue, annual or annual subscription
You know
type
what
of
I
thing.
got?
But not even for
And
private equity. I don't care. I think
No,
it's
no,
just
just
it's a better
value.
model.
It is
Yeah.
a value model. But
Proposition,
how
yeah.
about what I was thinking? And I talk to Steve all the time, Franson,
Yeah.
about this. But then he, did a presentation. I saw him the day before, and he's like, "I'm going to do this presentation. I'm basically going to talking directly to you because we're,
Good.
So he's,
None of us were there.
no,
Just him.
no,
Just
he was just
Chris.
goofing around because we
Steve
always
and
have
Chris.
this conversation about the golden exit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm in the group, and hey.
You're not on camera, Dr.
All
D.
right, that was a good dance.
If you're gonna do that, you got to get on camera.
So happy.
So-
Oh my God. Okay.
There she is,
Hey,
ladies and gentlemen, Dr. D. Ta-da!
Oh wow, that was good.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
You do
it.
this?
I by the way, everything is on camera. It's all recorded. I can see everything you've done. Yeah.
You're live.
You do pick your nose a little too much, though.
don't?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Have you been to Galapagos?
No, I have not, and I'm dying.
I'm sorry. What did you just call it?
Galapagos.
That was
yeah.
very Ecuadorian of you.
Yeah.
She did not say Galapagos Islands. She said it. She said
It's
something
special.
different over
I
there.
like
Yeah.
that.
Galapagos.
Technically, my last name is pronounced Vallejo, but nobody says it.
Vallejo.
Like the V.
Vallejo.
The V in Spanish is
B. Yeah, and the LL should be a J. No.
Yeah.
So Vallejo.
Vallejo.
And
No,
what,
you-
what do they say here in this white office?
Like Vallejo, California.
Yeah.
Where the Ozarks
Vallejo,
is
Vallejo.
down.
Oh, Vallejo.
Yeah, Vallejo.
Like if you're gonna text laughter, do you do ha 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 HAHA or
Depends who I'm texting. Like
JAJAJA?
Pete's white, so you say ha ha.
Right.
Text
Right.
like that, it's Jaja.
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 Mm.
I like
I'm
it.
gonna,
So it's gonna-
from
gotta
now
think
on, you
about
are Vallejo. Vallejo.
Diana Mercedes Vallejo.
Yes.
Yeah, Mercedes. We were thinking about maybe taking that middle name and considering just calling you Mercedes, and then you're gonna turn into Benz,
Yeah.
and then it gets ugly. Yeah, you're gonna get ugly after that. Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Yep.
So we
What were
we
we
got
saying?
what,
What
what
we
were we
got?
talking about? Oh, you Steve Francis was
resale,
talking.
resale, like selling your practice
Exit.
and creating
Exit.
value, and so I like that. But then I get like I hear about, then I start to think about some of the people, and I hear the conversations of, and I don't know, it just like some of these people's offices make me nervous. Like like there was one guy who was talking about wanting to open a practice in a different state because the insurance accepts this and this, and I'm like, that's not a sellable item. Is it? Is an insurance
Well,
heavy?
An in-network.
Is an insurance heavy practice?
It's probably
a multiplier.
Better, it's probably better to have diversity, right? So you want insurance to protect against downward recession. You want cash to so that you're not dependent on one basket of
Like you're
I'm gonna be the devil's
You're
advocate
gonna
only
open
because
a
I've been-
practice in Ohio because they
Right.
allow you to adjust extremities.
Let me tell you. So I'll play devil's advocate only because I have been approached by private equity multiple times. And yes, insurance is much more desirable. And I'll tell you why. There's consistency to
That's
it.
right. Predictability.
All they care. So I have had people who have been bought out by private equity who have literally left so much money out there from personal injury or from out of network, because although they want their money now. So they know that they see a patient today, in 12 days they're getting paid, and whether it's $42 as opposed to $142, they know it's what, and everything is predictable, and they can model that out. And again, you're talking about the potential for volume too. So when you come in, and that's even the same thing when insurance companies bring you in network, right? The idea is you're going to get your best deal in the beginning because you're going to see the least amount of their patients because they're not familiar with your network. But once you get busier and busier and busier, you're going to be seeing more and more patients, right? Because there's so many people in the network that your actual reimbursements go down after 2 or 3 years.
But
You're signing up for your reimbursements to go down when you go in network,
And
knowing because you're going to make it up in volume.
Right, but I see it a different way because you then are not in control. You're not in control of your own clinic.
That is correct. You're not, you're
No
not
one
providing.
wants to buy Chris DiCarlo. They want to buy your patients. So
They want to buy,
so
and they're considered units at that time.
Your
at that point.
patients come to you because you're Dr. Chris DiCarlo, right? And with private equity, they're like, well, I'd rather they come in because the clinic
Anybody,
accepts
because-
their insurance.
If a robot can
Because then
adjust
it
them
doesn't
for
matter.
$42,
It doesn't matter who the doctor is.
Yes.
Or
Right.
it matters less who the doctor
Right.
is. I guess I
Right.
should say. So I understand that.
I'm never,
and that's
buying
why
a
insurance has
practice-
bastardized the
but I'm
quality
never-
healthcare. It
but
doesn't.
I'm never buying a practice that takes insurance.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Because as soon as because you are a third party in your office.
That's
you have
correct.
no control. So tomorrow, if all the unions get together and they say we're not taking chiropractic anymore,
You're done.
you're done.
You're done.
Your
You're
whole
done.
life
Done.
is
That's
over
exactly right.
because you're putting all of your eggs. Like there's nothing that can stop me.
Right.
Like I'm going to do
Correct.
millions of cash.
Yeah.
And nothing. What is going to stop
Oh,
me?
I haven't. I couldn't-
economic
I
downturn.
couldn't imagine having an insurance-based practice. I couldn't imagine it. But
I just get
if I'm
nervous
thinking
because I
about
used we used to be at a network with an insurance company, and
Yeah.
it was all the teachers, all the police.
Yeah.
And we were having some great years. Then all of a sudden the union got together and they were like, bloop, bloop, bloop,
Right.
bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
And then from one day to the next,
Right.
40% or 50%, 60% of your practice is gone, and you're
That's
like,
right.
and then you look around, you're like, there's no children. Where's
Mhm.
the families?
Yeah.
What's my retention?
Right.
What's my, how many of my practice is
100%.
wellness? And I'm like, this is like, I'm not like, you might be different because you have a private equity thing, but I'm not in control of my own facility.
Right.
But it's not about healthcare anymore. Then it's just about the business.
Right.
It's
When
just
private equity comes in, it's about the business. It's not about the
Right.
care.
Well, I'm not looking for, I would,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just
Right.
in general, like to make
so,
a move.
So what did you hear when he was, again, talking to the group, but talking to you? What did you hear from Steve about exiting that either you didn't know or
Well, I like the formula that he put out, a formula, so let's take a picture of it and your multiplier, and it was good to see where you stand as far as selling and things like that.
the value?
You're talking about the one, like how much you want to live on per year,
Yeah,
and then it kind
and then
of
the
reverse
multiplier.
engineering that is what he was
Yeah.
talking
So
about.
working backwards from the, so let's just say if you say, if I'm going to do 20 clinical hours a week, I better be worth $1,000 an hour. All right. So work backwards from there.
Yeah. So what do you
Right.
want to have per year, and do you want to stay in? Like
Mhm.
was all this different things, but then and it's hard to understand, like to grasp where is the actual value. where
What just distracted you like
Yeah,
that?
it's-
Just the way he
this
bro.
is his his
Hello,
yeah.
hello. What was
Right.
it? There's a comedian. Hello.
Right. This is sleep. So I just don't know where in my mind, like in your mind, the value is in the how much the office is making and the being in the networks and out of the networks. In my mind, it's the complete opposite. Like I would like you couldn't give me your practices.
Right,
I would
right.
run 100% into
Right.
a knife, stab me in the eye 75 times and kill myself. And you probably would never want mine. Right. Because, and it's
I
just-
wouldn't say that. I would say I would want yours, and if I could be honest, I would love to. I just don't feel like I would be able to pull it off. I would have to be
it's just
trained
diff-
on
you know,
that,
it's
right?
that would have different training, but
Yeah.
to me, the value is in the retention and the like
Relationships.
the relationships and the retention,
The
like,
understanding of what it is that you're doing, that the
right,
fact that people
and
are
the
willing to
family
pay
members
cash.
and that where people are coming in. It's just a different model, but to me, I would buy into a wellness practice, a 15-year wellness practice 1,000 times before I'd buy into a 30, 40-year insurance practice.
Yeah.
It just makes me super, super nervous to be third party in my own practice. Like I'm uncomfortable with that, and
Right.
I don't like it.
Right.
Like, and
I don't want to be the way I do it right now. Opposite. You may not want to be me, but I definitely would want to be you. I want to do my style of practice with your,
Model.
with your
financial
model. Exactly. I don't want to have to rely on insurance. And by the way, I can't, right? So what happened to me is, of course, in New Jersey during COVID, overnight, after 19 years of treating all the teachers and the police officers and everybody like that who had wonderful insurance benefits, overnight in the middle of COVID, they dropped us 170%.
Right.
And right to a point where the next day, it was in August of 2020, the next day it cost me money. It cost me money to treat these patients.
Right.
And so now I have to charge them for what the insurance company is not
which means
paying
you
for
have
it.
to communicate
the value.
the value,
Yeah.
and make so that goes to your point. When there's a third party involved, it takes the communication between the doctor and the patient, and now diverts it to the third party,
Mhm.
and that's the
if I didn't
And
have
here
to
I am.
educate a patient, I mean, and I was just like, it's $15 copay.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have to have 753 doctors in my office.
Right.
I'd be like, I'd have to own a mall.
right.
And
Right.
what drives us nuts about insurance, but like here we are proving that we are saving people from having to do surgery or saving people from having to get sick. We are proving this every single day. How is our value going down while hospitals, our values are going up?
Because wellness is not something insurance should pay for.
Right.
Wellness has nothing. Insurance is to insure you against the unexpected.
Right. Acute.
Wellness is living your life, right? So it's the whole idea that your insurance company is not paying for your gym membership. They're not paying for your organic food. They're not paying for your,
Like, what's the
dental
average
hygiene.
retention of an insurance-based practice? Right.
Like a
you,
PVA?
yeah. Like, not you personally. Just
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want to know
in
your
general.
personal business.
Probably
I don't know.
10 to 12, right?
Right.
Would you
So
say?
if you educated your patients and doubled that,
Yeah.
you could have doubled your
That's right.
practice
That's
by
right.
not ever seeing another patient. Like if you kept the new patients coming in right now and just doubled the
To
education
20,
you would double your practice. Whatever volume we're at right now, double it just by
Mhm.
saying words out of your mouth.
but
It
then
makes no sense.
no,
to me.
because then they have to pay for it.
But that's the education.
Right,
I'm
that's-
getting people to pay
Right.
stacks of cash.
Yeah.
And no problem.
That exactly.
problem.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Do you
That-
use a cash register to?
Yeah, and I take the tape
hit it.
out.
You have to
I
hit
take
it.
the tape out and I do every other one. And then I burn. I don't throw it in the garbage now because you got to burn it now.
yeah,
'cause
yeah,
now
right,
that
right. 'Cause
garbage
somebody can go
picker.
there, and the shredders, people can put that back.
Right,
together.
right.
Like, eat
So
my
I just
microphone
burn it
over.
with the bodies. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so I'm sitting here thinking, like, why? Like these guys were at the pool and they're like, yeah, this guy presenting, and the state now takes and they'll do an extremity adjustment. I can do, they're paying this for trigger point, this
Mhm.
for this, and I'm like, why wouldn't you just educate the existing people, double your practice that's already overheaded, and just double your existing
And provide the care
the
that
proper care?
that they need
No.
that works, as opposed to what will be paid
Right.
for.
Well, and that is what our model
Plus,
is.
I mean,
here.
so and then he's talking about, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, so you're going to adjust everybody's extremity just to
For the
bill
sake-
it,
just to bill it,
just
right?
to bill it.
Right.
That was an New Jersey thing when I was first coming out. My friend, and
Yes.
I don't know if that's still a New Jersey thing or not.
No, yeah, they weren't.
They were at 9. I don't even remember the code.
9943,
Right.
yeah.
And all my friends in New Jersey like, you don't adjust extremities. I was like, if they need it, I
Right.
do it.
That's
Like,
exactly
whatever.
right.
Everyone gets an extremity in New Jersey. We do it, wrist
Right.
or a
Yeah, it
shoulder.
becomes a joke. It becomes a joke.
Do a
Right,
shoulder
right.
or a wrist. And I'm like,
And that
why?
drives
Like,
me nuts.
because we can bill it for $42 or whatever it was. And I'm like,
Right. Yeah. Are you sure that's how it goes?
No, it's
Jeez, I
not.
hope it doesn't go like that.
here's how it goes in my office. Dr. Taylor, adjust that extremity.
Yeah.
It's just not, she likes to do extremities. So I
Right.
send
Yeah.
them over to her, and she
Yeah.
loves it, and she does them. And
Yeah.
because down where she was, they did extremities.
Yeah.
And
My
I just-
favorite.
It's
yeah.
not. I mean, I just don't understand like that thought process. Like, go to another state, invest in an office because they can
All right,
adjust.
let's
Right.
go back to
shit.
the
Because
let's
it's
go
not
back to the-
healthcare; it's a
hold on a
business
second.
at that point,
Yeah,
right?
let's
it's
So-
go
a business,
back
which
to
is
the-
good for making tons of money.
Let's go
Yeah.
back to the
Again, I could
exit.
be probably way more money if I was
But you don't care because it's not simple and it's
I'm
not
missing out.
peace of
I'm
mind.
missing out.
Let's go back to the exit conversation.
Yeah.
Because right now your practice is a great way for you to make a great living for your family, and retirement means your what you built all over the years is something that's sellable,
Yeah.
right? Who are you selling it to?
I mean, mine is probably, it's never going to anybody except probably another chiropractor.
Somebody, an associate doctor that's already in your practice.
Yeah, or
and-
someone who wants to buy a
wellness.
wellness-based, self-running machine that you would really never probably have to do anything.
Yeah, but it's a self-running machine when Chris DiCarlo is there.
What happens when Chris retires?
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
There's going to be attrition.
Yeah, I mean, probably 15-20%,
Oh, okay.
Right.
So
loss of, but at the end of the day, it's just, and I kind of always say this, people they're not coming because of me. They're coming because of what we do.
right.
Right.
Well, that's the most important. thing.
And then
Right.
because in my office, we don't have patients who we see specifically.
Right.
It's whoever's next on the table. We should
Right.
just go to whoever. So
Mhm.
right now, I probably have 3 or 4 people who will say, I'm going to wait for Dr. Chris,
Right.
which is way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be adjusting everybody.
Like 50 people are going to be waiting for you.
Right. No, and some of them actually hate me, which is awesome. It's like because she's doing a great job. But
Right.
so it's just a different mindset. Like, and again, I just can't wrap my mind around. Like, you could double your practice just by saying the proper words.
Right.
Double
Okay.
it.
What are the proper words?
Wellness.
That's right.
Subluxation based. Remove the subluxations. The immune system the nervous system controls your immune system and your endocrine system. When you're getting adjusted, you're healthy. This
Mhm.
is the research and science. It's just so simple to say and educate. To even if you added 5 more visits, you could 25%. Like, if you're at 350 visits, you could be at 500 just by
Right.
in
Right.
6 months. You could be at 500 visits just by your mouth, and everybody speaking the same language and everybody living the same mindset.
Right.
Like, someone comes in my office and they are scared. Like, they won't bring me food on Christmas because they're petrified of what I'm going to say about it. They bring me waters and avocados. They know there's
Our
no cookies.
avocados are okay.
Yeah, no cookies, no cakes. Like, they understand that. Like, I get going on dairy. I get going on food and
Yeah.
poisons and red dyes and shit.
Mhm.
And so that, you know, when they see the conviction in the core values, then they start to really lock in. But literally 5 visits could
Yeah, I get it.
25%,
So
30%
so
of
the
your
mi-
practice.
so the
That's on you.
the
Not
mistake
you. Just on, you know,
the
not you
mistake the
specifically,
schools
you know.
make, and
I get how much you hate me. I
I
got
don't
it.
hate you. I just see such potential.
the I remember Patrick used to say, at any given point, our profession is seeing no more than 2% of the population.
Right.
And probably, if you do the numbers right, 10% of the population may have been to a chiropractor once.
Right.
Okay. And just imagine that 2% doubled or tripled to 6%.
You couldn't
There's
handle
not
it.
enough
There's
of
not
us.
enough.
There's not enough of us. It's not even close.
No.
So the growth potential is massive. What is
Right.
the growth potential for the dental profession?
I don't know.
Well, everybody goes
Sees
to a
a
dentist,
dentist,
right?
right.
So they have to compete for, but we have the ability to grow that 2% to 4%.
Yeah.
And double. You know, it's a massive market.
That's
The
why I go to
market
work. I'm
potential
just
is
like,
massive.
oh yeah, here we
Yeah.
go. Like I love it. Like
Right.
you know,
Every day you go into your office, you have the ability to reach people that would have never heard your message, because you go into your office, there's somebody there who has a family member or a friend who's
Right.
never heard our message that should hear it.
that's why we do
Whereas
it.
a dentist goes in, and it's not like, you should tell your family and friends to get their teeth checked.
No, that's
They-
what I mean. The
they're-
message is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
I just created a Spanish workshop now, so we do one entirely in Spanish for the community because
Who does that?
I have 2 Spanish-speaking people in my office, and
Yeah.
I bonus them on the performance of the workshop because the families are so important, and the children that I
Right.
feel like I'm not getting the message to the Spanish-speaking people because I can't speak Spanish at all.
So Dave Moore is a chiropractor here in New Jersey, and Dave is a great guy. And Dave sold he had a great practice in Clifton, and for one reason or another, he sold it. But now he's kind of not semi-retired. But I have to have my hands on patients, so he's actually working for someone. And the entire practice, nobody speaks English, and he doesn't speak a word of Spanish. He goes, his ability to communicate chiropractic has skyrocketed through not words,
Right.
so you said it's just words, but
No,
it's communicating the energy of what he does.
Yeah, and that's what but it's such a fascinating thing. But like I said, once they get everybody wants their kids healthy, right? So once they get this, like, oh my God, I can do this instead of taking this, or I can do this for my child. If he feels like when kids are bringing their kids in because they're sick or it's right before school, like it's just such a like, oh man, like that's my favorite part. And that's what I think I have as a sellable product. Now it's not going to be as valuable as yours are because it has to be, it's to a private person,
right? Like
a human being versus a company. So there's probably not that much sellable in it, but it's enough. And so I like that model. And I always try to, and this is where I have problems with the accountability people, because this is how I see it. I'm like, I get uncomfortable when they talk about doing more things over places based on what insurance is covering. And I'm like, just invest in the words out of your mouth and double or triple your practice. And you're already here. You've
already created a model. Yeah, right.
You're
right. But avoiding that conversation is not something, because
I don't think anyone listens to it though, because they're just
he's
business built.
Listening.
He's breaking through.
They're all business.
Look how
built.
long.
The 90% of the people that they're business built. They're doing chiropractic. They love chiropractic, but they're doing it for
to make a living,
to make money.
But imagine, this is obviously how I lived my last 20 years. But imagine combining that.
Well, that's where you are now.
Where I'm wanting
transitioning.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So now it's not this or this. It's this and this. And that
the end
becomes extraordinary.
This and this becomes good because you're starting to have more control of your own life and facility. You're not dependent on anybody else.
I think you're leaving out the ones that are doing it for the business because they want to scale the message, because our message is not at scale. And if we're going to double from 2% to 4% to 6%, then you have to scale the message.
Are you
And
scaling though, being insurance controlled?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess what.
But the insurance could give you an opportunity to be in a place where you can scale and,
if you
and
can
produce the
convert.
message.
If you can convert, the problem with that is, insurance is very limited, and then the idea is, all right, I'm going to accept the insurance, and then when it runs out, I'm going to convert the patient.
Never.
But that conversion is a very, first of all,
It's sub
from an
15%.
ethical standpoint, you got to be spot on, because you have to say the relationship with your insurance company is over because the complaint you came in for treatment is done.
Right.
I don't treat you as a wellness patient. It's not treatment.
Right.
It's care.
Right.
I provide care.
Right. Okay.
Just like your, whatever. We can use all the analogy, all the dental analogies you
Right.
want. But you need a root canal. You need a root canal. That's a treatment. Cleaning is not a treatment.
Right.
Right. So, but how many people are able to do that well?
Nobody is going to go from insurance to cash once they're feeling better, unless they're educated
The
out of
entire
their
time.
minds, educated out of
Yep.
their minds. That's the difference. So the wellness based plan starts at the initial phone call, right? And that's it.
That's right.
Right from the first time they call the office. And
See, for me, it starts at the day 2 more than likely. But day 1, I'm finding out what's going on with their condition. And day 2, I'm giving them the outline of what's going to happen in these next couple of whatever it's
So,
going to be, days, weeks, months,
Yeah.
and let them know. Listen, obviously, your pain. I expect your pain to go away. That's my job. That's what I do. So I'm pain based,
In
of course.
2003, oh my God, I
Okay.
can't believe it's like 20 years ago. I remember the day I had a training with my staff because I met with a consultant. I was only a couple of years into practice, in my own practice in Washington Heights. And I taught my staff to say, will this appointment be for you or your whole family? That one statement
makes
alone,
a huge difference.
our new patients went up 40% immediately.
Guys, get in here. Yeah.
But do you know what the funny part about it is? And this goes back directly to Pampa, is saying that is not changing the patients,
That's
it's
right.
changing the team.
That's
Yes.
right.
It's the mindset. That's
It's
it.
Exactly
It's
right.
because they're like, oh, okay,
Because
they're
if
starting
your
to get
team
it.
sucks, they're not going to say it with conviction, and it's not going to do anything.
Right. And they
your
start to get
practice.
it. And that's
Right.
what
Because
all
if
that
your
matters.
if your team is not, if their family is not getting it, if you have a front desk person and they're getting adjusted because they work there, but they have children and those
Right.
children are not getting adjusted, they have a spouse and that spouse is not getting adjusted. Well, then they're not, if they say it,
They're
if
not
they
getting the
say
message.
words,
Right.
it's just words.
Yeah. Right. I got
They live it.
I got
Yeah,
all
they
my
live it.
team, all my families, all their husbands, all their wives, all their dads, all their kids, grandkids. Every single team member in my office has 3 or 4 people and their families who are under care.
Right.
And that's just the thing. If you ask them how many times have they seen my new patient orientation, each of them has seen it 6+ times. I
Right.
make it mandatory in the first month. They come every single week,
Right.
and then twice a month after that for a little while. And it's just, I think it's easy money that's just being left out there.
Yeah.
And it's shocking because I find it so simple.
And it's such a positive thing. We're
Such a
doing this to
positive
get
thing.
you healthy.
right.
We're not doing this to force McDonald's and Coca-Cola and all the
Right.
other advertising crap down your throat and pharmaceuticals, etc. We're doing this to make you
You know,
healthy. What a positive thing
There
to
was that
spend money
study
on,
right on your health.
and we're not having the impact that Wendy's has.
Right.
Years ago, there was a study done in Illinois where an insurance company added chiropractors as primary care physicians. And they tracked the statistics of the people that made the choice to go to a chiropractor as their primary care doctor. And the statistics on surgery and everything was just like, the numbers were ridiculous. So the critics of this research study said, well, that's healthy user bias. The people who are going to choose a chiropractor, the people that resonate with that message, are healthier people. And the answer
Okay.
is exactly.
Yes. Wow.
Yes,
What a
yes,
novel
right.
concept.
Right.
Right. And perhaps maybe if you gave us some of these sick people, maybe we can convert them to healthy people too.
Right.
Holy cow. That's
Maybe
an
there should be
insane.
a national campaign so you could be the one that chooses the chiropractor. as your
Right.
primary care doctor,
Imagine trying to be healthy. What a shock.
because you go, and then every time you go to a restaurant, you think a little bit differently when you place an order. Every time you go to the grocery store, you think a little bit differently before you put it in your cart.
Yeah. I mean, I have shit on
it's
my
the-
TVs in the office that's just relentless, like,
Right.
right in your face. Like,
It's a cultural.
uncomfortable shit that makes that people are taking pictures of it. Lauren's like, should we have that on the TV? I'm like,
Can you give me an example? Because I'd like to be uncomfortable right now.
I have slides like I have a picture of a slides of like a puppy breastfeeding with a dog, a cat breastfeeding with a cat, and then I have like goats breastfeeding with goats, and then I have humans sucking on a cow's titties, and I just leave it there. And then people are like, "What is
It stays
that?"
on there for
I
what?
just-
How
I
long?
just
Like a
leave 'em on
5-minute loop?
Yeah, I have
It's
5 minute loop.
5 minutes.
I have a slide like that, and I leave it on there, and then I have a slide that says, if you think the flu is a season, you're absolutely wrong. The flu is a sugar, vitamin D, vitamin C problem.
Right.
Ask Dr. Chris. Or I have one on there that says, if you think the United States of America is trying to heal breast cancer, that's a $5 billion industry. You're out of your mind. Right? I have all these slides, and then people will get, and then I have all these like, and then I have one that has this lady looking over the edge of a building like this, and it says, "This is big pharma watching you try to heal yourself naturally." Just things like that. That's spark conversation. So and I have like all the seed oils listed that cause cancer and like things like that.
I do not donate to charities that employ
Right.
more people than have cancer.
Right.
And
And also where all all part of my problem is in the stocks that I'm in. I anything that's pharmacy related or something, I won't put my money in, like with my IRAs and all
they
that.
don't need
Yeah.
my money. The pharmaceutical company doesn't need me to donate money to them.
But your TV here should be just like
Right.
huge, banging, like uncomfortable picture taking, conversational stuff, like
Right.
things like that.
I get that completely.
Yeah, not you. I just in general.
Let's mess people up. Let's go. She's back. Shannon's back.
All right, I'm going. I gotta go play.
All right, he's got pickleball.
Dude, it's,
this was a good one. This was a good one. Look at that. We are about to crack 2 hours, not 24 hours. I'm gonna watch you. You want to turn the YouTube off first. I want to turn that one off first. So stop that one. End stream, and then there's another one. What does it say there? And is there another one?